All right, so this is a brand new name. This used to be called the butterfly, but I just started realizing it does not look like a butterfly. So, yeah, let's familiarize ourselves. This is the first out of 3, so it's familiarization. So it's around these last 2 cones, cut across, just like the rabbit ears. Now it's around this cone all the way. Now it shoots towards the outside, and it's around everything, but I have to go in between these 2 cones right here, shoot to the outside, and then it's an exit. Okay, so then it's an exit, but where's the exit? Like, do I have to go, okay, I have to go around this cone. Okay, it's pretty much puts you in a natural position to exit. All right, so 25.39. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this again, warm up. So there we go. So around these 2, then it shoots to the outside. Then it's around that one. And then it's in between this one, and it's around everything. So I can cut this one probably pretty close. And then it's around this one. And then it's out. Okay, so I think I got it. I think I got it. So before, so 21.30. Okay, let's see if we can get to 19. Okay, so I know this first part, around this, around that, around this. Now it's in between these 2 cones, and that's really all I have to remember. Let's try to figure out what works for you. So around these, around this, and then it's in between these, and then around everything, in between that first cone and the second cone right here, and then it's to the outside cone, and then it's on the exit where I'm in a natural position to exit so I don't have to think about it, and then I just go. Let's see, did we get 19? 19, baby! 19.4. I'll take the 0.4, it's almost 0.5, but hey, just start figuring it out. Familiarize, learn the first half, and then apply the second half. All right, Octothorpe. It's just like the Dizzy bike, but a little different. It's right-handed U-turns, and it's around 1. Or it's right-handed 360s for the most part. So around this first one, this is really gonna test your right-handed U-turns. I'm gonna give it a little bit more counterweight. So then it's shooting all the way across. Now it's like it's a 720 basically. To this one. And then it's on the exit out. Okay, so I don't need to give it that much counterweight because it slows me down quite a bit. Let's do a little bit more of a Moto Gymkhana, not a slow speed thing. All right, let's try that out. So it's like lean into it. So 3, 2, 1. So I'm leaning into it. Accelerate. Lean in. Oh, if I feel like I'm gonna fall down, the thing is, I don't give it more counterweight. I missed the cone, so it doesn't count. I'm only doing 3 runs, so I only get 1 more try. Son of a bitch. Maybe I need to do some counterweight. So if that's what happens, guys. Write in your notebook or write in your notes, like a Google Doc with your times, and be like, hey, second run, Octothorpe. Screwed it up. I need to do some counterweighting. Hey, we're all there. Especially after doing this for 40 minutes now. All right. 21.51. I would edit out like all my screw ups, but I really want to keep them in so that you guys can see it happens. We're all learning, we're getting better. And I've been doing all these. We're finally on the expert drills. I've been doing beginner through hard this whole time. My hand is getting a little sore, but I think I could do it. We're at 39 minutes in. All right, guys. This is the hot air balloon. Oh, shit. Here we go, guys. Familiarize ourselves. So all the way around this cone. It's a straight line weave, basically. Oh, geez. It's already started. But then we have to go all the way back. Oh, geez. And not enough counterweight, not enough speed. Maybe I'm getting exhausted because I have been doing this for 40 minutes because I really want to get through all of them because they are doable in one session. You might have to, it might take you an hour or about 50 minutes or more for 3 runs each. All right, familiarization. See, the fact that I'm able to talk through it all and look at the phone and do the skills, I'm not doing too bad. 35.3. Let's see if we can get to 30s and maybe 28 at the last one. All right, guys, let's jump into this one. Let's just do the warm-up. Let's get through it. So nice and wide, because then this last part, I always do that. I lock up the handlebars to the left, and it's hard to shift it back to the right. And I think what I'm not doing is leading with my body, like my upper body. I'm trying to turn. I'm putting my feet down too. This is not fun. Oh, going super wide. This is a tough one, guys. All right, I promise this next one for time, it's gonna be way better. All right, no talking. All right, guys, I'm not gonna talk on this one. We're just gonna get through it. Here we go, guys. So nice and easy. I'm gonna go wide. Turn these handlebars. So I'm gonna go this really slow. So I'm gonna go wide. I put my foot down. I don't like it. Guys, this is a tough one. If you could do it without putting your foot down, I commend you. I used to be able to do it super easy on the FTR. I think it was just because of the ergonomics of the bike, where I can really turn it in. Cruisers are a little different. So if you're doing it on a cruiser, good job. If you're doing a sport bike, might be a little bit easier. Doing it on like a naked bike or a dual sport might be easier. Whew. 36. That's pretty much the best time. I'm gonna keep updating these times. I'm gonna keep practicing this one. I need to. All right, guys, we're gonna jump into the loop-de-loop. This one, it's figure eights. It's basically the Dizzy bike and the Octothorpe, but figure eights basically. So here we go. So around this first cone, it's a right-handed turn. Nice and easy, but then we have to go left of this cone, and it's a 360. So it's a figure eight 360. Oh, not enough counterweight. I think my body's getting tired. So if you ever get to that point, it's time for a break. Out to the outside, but I have to, I'm trying to do it all in under an hour on the camera so they don't die. And then we're gonna exit out here. Here we go. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this one. This is the warm-up. It's the second run. Oh, geez. Counterweight all the way around. This is a tough one. In between these two cones. Oh, I almost cut that one too close, and I'd rather put a foot down than accidentally cut the cone, because then it wouldn't count. Putting your foot down is okay. I had to do a quick shift, and there we are. All right. 30. Let's see if we get, oh my gosh. Oh, I thought the last number was a 0. That would have been cool. 3, 2, and 1. This is for time. All right, go to the outside. All the way. In between, man, this is a lot of friction zone. A lot of friction zone throttle control. This is testing all of that. I'm much better on my left hand U-turns. There we go. Yeah, we got 29, baby. All right, guys, we're gonna jump in to the last one. All right, guys, the roller coaster. Go around that first cone to the outside, around everything, around 2 cones. Okay, this is actually probably gonna be a little bit easier. Shouldn't have said that. All right, so then around everything. Up here, around to the outside, shift body, around everything, around these 2 cones. Shift hard to the body, to the left. Shift hard. Whew. I think I'm getting dehydrated or dizzy. All right, guys, 23.1. All right, not too bad. Not too bad. Here we go. 3, 2, 1 for a warm-up. So around this first cone, around this, around everything, and then around those 2 cones, and then cut back to where I just crossed right here. So around these 2 cones, shift in my body, shift in my body, exit out. All right, let's see what the time is. 20.78, so 20.7. All right, let's see if we can beat that. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. How's everybody doing? Let's flip this up. There we go. How's everybody doing today? How you doing for any time? So I'm reading the chat. Need some tips for riding in town. Let's see. Let me see if I can grab my old videos. So for updates for everybody else, how you doing? Elad, PNW, Colin, good to see you guys. Mr. Romil, how you doing? Elad, yeah. Yeah, last week I'll explain all of that. So I just finished module 2, and that question for any time, that's in module 2. I wish I had the video up on YouTube. I can show you that, but I have some older videos from Ride Along with Dan the Fireman. Let's see. 2020. What? 2020. That is an old video.
Today we're going.
I remember this one. 5 years ago. Jeez. So I got some new ones coming out. This is I've made ones since then. So this video right here.
Going to do some more Ride Along with Dan and the Fireman. As the sun is going down, it is 5:02, and I'm going to work.
So I'll send you this one. I'll put it at least in the chat.
Stuff, and then also about it. The medium slow speed stuff. This is where it's very important.
Back when I was using a lot of the yellow stage and stuff. Which, if you guys noticed, I haven't been posting. Yeah, I'll just put this in the chat real quick so you can just go ahead and watch this. But I'm not going to watch the whole thing on here. That's the video. I haven't been using it a lot because I think it's gotten complicated, and I think the plan method just straight up handles it. So I haven't been using the yellow stage, brown stage, and all that stuff.
Direction of position myself in a good spot.
So this whole video is I talk to myself. I'm using, hey, back then I had rock form, still using rock form. Look at that, 2020. This is 5 years ago. 236,000 views. Wow, that's impressive. January 15th, 2020. Still using rock form. Love them.
Spot to where I could just take off. This is
so I talk through the whole process
here and take off that way, but a bike in there could slide. It's called open way, so it's a green light for them. So that
I even put out like little focal points,
just in case there's like a stopped car. All right, brake lights coming up.
Yellow stage brake lights.
Be a little bit cautious about 35 miles an hour. I see that there's some arrows in the right lane, so that means this lane has to merge, and it's best to do that as soon as you possibly.
As with the FTR, no longer have the FTR. But I go through the whole thing, so like people rubbernecking, typical traffic, moving to the left, big trucks, road debris, space cushion, turning, braking. This was most replayed?
I didn't put any anti-fog spray. So here is a bad situation. See, I'm opening up the view, and I'm increasing my space cushion. I let them take off, and it gives me a better line of sight.
2020, where was I? 2019, January 2019, so a year before this, I went through the MSF Rider Coach program. So I was a rider coach for a year at this point. So I was using Open Up the View, that because opening up the view is like rock form. Is an MSF term. I don't use it as much. I do use it in this module that I have going on. I miss that helmet, the Shoei. I still have that jacket. I don't use it anymore. I have climb jacket and everything. But yeah, I basically don't have any of this stuff anymore. Everything in here, even the phone mount, because I got a new one, the bike, the boots, the gloves, the jacket, the pants, the helmet, the cameras. I don't have any of this stuff anymore. And no beard. That's the things. I didn't start growing. I don't think I started growing the crazy beard. This was about 18 months, a year and a half after I left the fire service, and I didn't start growing the beard and started getting fat. My life started going downhill. I think about a year after this. And so like, yeah, depression and all that stuff kicked in and whatnot. Got a little carried away. But yeah, this is a good video. Notice how I look down at speedo and then up, then down, then up, and use your vision. Don't fixate on what is not important, not as important as the road. So 2020, I was still like, I've been saying the same stuff. This is why I like these questions on the live stream, because it's kind of like a chat. And so like you're asking a question about like what to do in these situations. You're afraid of taking your bike out in a lot of traffic. Pretty busy area. This was a pretty busy. I'm gonna go ahead and button this up a little more professional. This looks a little busy, right? It's a little busy. We kind of go through this stuff on the live streams. We'll talk more about that. But I've been saying the same stuff. I don't think I created the plan method yet, but I've been saying the same stuff for years. Years. It's gonna be 6 years since this video pretty soon. Years. I've been saying the same stuff. There's always new riders. There's always new people, just like we have in the chat. There's always new riders that want that are getting into riding now. There's gonna be some that are gonna get into riding next year, and then the next year, and the next. So to me, I've been thinking a lot about it because of the Smart Rider Training Manual. There's no point, and I've said this before. There's no point for me to be like as a coach, and as somebody with this knowledge. There's no point in me being like, okay, I went through the beginner stuff. Okay, now I got to become an advanced rider. Now I got to go and do a ton of track days. And then once I do that, it's like, okay, now what do I do? It's like, okay, now I'm going to learn stunting. And then now I'm going to go on crazy adventures to, the Dragon and showcase my skill set. And it's like, now you guys listen to me. Listen to me because I can do the Dragon crazy and I can do all these crazy track days. Look how fast I am. Now you have to listen to me for beginner tips and because it's called, it's not social proof, but it's basically an expert bias in a way. And I feel like there's no point in doing that. I feel that there is a point somewhere, but I feel like there's no point in doing that because I would rather spend years and years and years and years focusing very specifically on the beginner rider mindset. Very specifically on beginner riders that are coming into it, that wanting to do it, but evolving the education to be more refined, more simple, and stick with beginners. Because that's where you start. You guys can go do track days and do all the other stuff I was just talking about. But for me, in my own personal space, just make the absolute beginner education accessible to anybody and everybody. So that they can at least start riding safely. We don't need to do track. You don't need to. You want to just start riding. So just start riding. Let's figure it out. Then from there, you can figure out whatever you want. That's cool. So for 5+ years, like I was an MSF rider coach in this video for a year already. And before that, I've been riding, this is 2020, so I've been riding 9 years before this video. And before that, it was, like I said, the International Association of Professional Drivers for the fire service and all this other stuff. So what did Bruce Lee say? Like Bruce Lee said it's pretty simple. You can apply it to anything. He's like, I'm not scared of the man that can do 1,000 kicks. I'm scared of the man that does one kick 1,000 times. Something along that. How you doing, Kev Central? So for me, it's like, yeah, I can do a bunch of different things, or I can just do one thing all the time and just get amazingly well at that. And that's what I'm focused heavily on this. And I'm saying that because, like I said, I was thinking of the Smart Rider Training Manual. I just finished last week, so now we're getting into kind of like what we're doing, like talking about like missing me last week. So last week, my girlfriend was in South Africa, so I had a whole week by myself at home with the dogs. That was fun. Different, but it's fun. But during that time, I just heavily focused on what is it. I reframed everything because it's fourth quarter, and I always do this in fourth quarter so I can prep for first quarter of next year. Just kind of like really thought about it, and it's like, so what is 2026 going to look like? What is 2026 going to look like? What's the mission? What do I vision? Like, what's the vision about it? what's the production plan? What videos want to come out? Like, what do I have in terms of like the shop? Like, what is it that I want to focus on? What is it that I want to focus on when it comes to the Smart Rider crew? What is it that I want to focus on? And I really kind of dialed it down. It's like, let's go more in depth into these beginner video series, because nobody's doing beginner video series, and I feel like that's super needed, because we're getting questions like this in the chat all the time, all the time. And so it's like I kind of looked through the YouTube, and for just a little bit, I did enough research, and I've been doing this anyways for a long time, and I just see a bunch of videos of like how to ride a motorcycle in 10 minutes, how to ride a motorcycle in an hour, and they're all in the parking lot, and and I'm glad they're making these videos. I really am, because there's not many. But I'm really glad there's a lot of people making these videos, but there's a ton of them that are like 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old. Like, nobody's doing it anymore. Nobody's doing the how to ride. So I think a lot of people either gave up or I don't know why, but because it's hard to get views on those kinds of videos. But I think a lot of people gave up because it's like, well, the MSF does an amazing job. And I think, I got into that mindset before, a couple years ago, when I was an MSF rider coach. It's like, oh, they do a great job. There's no point in making this kind of content. But the more I do this, the more I read from comments of, I can't make it to an MSF. The nearest MSF is 3 hours away, and it's a whole weekend. I got to get a hotel. I can't afford an MSF, so I can't ride. And a lot of people are saying, I'm nervous to go ride. I'm nervous to go to the MSF class because it's a big classroom thing. And then there's just like all these different problems, so they just don't start riding, or they so badly want to ride and they can't go to the MSF. They have to learn on their own. And so then when they go on YouTube, they only see like how to learn how to ride in 20 minutes, and it's very quick. It's like, okay, here's the clutch, here's the throttle, here's the brakes. Okay, you got to turn the handlebars this, and this. Boom, boom, done. And for me, this is why I stayed in this beginner mindset. I watch these videos, and I know how to ride, but I watch these videos pretending I don't know what is going on. I pretend I don't know what's going on, and I do that for every single class I take, any type of continuing education. I've taken Stop the Bleed classes, I've taken TECC, I've taken many BRC ones, so beginner rider course ones for the MSF. Even after I've been riding, I've taught it, and I try to put myself in a position of a student, and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to listen to the instruction, and I'm going to do exactly as the instruction says, because that's exactly what a beginner is going to do. And where am I going to mess up if I follow this verbatim? Could I mess up? I have a question now, but is it going to be answered? I can't answer it myself. I know the answer, but I'm not going to answer it myself. It's like, is this being taught to the point where I'm going to understand? And when I see these videos on YouTube, and they're just really quick on like the clutch. Here's friction zone. You just do this. Well, here's throttle. You just do this. Braking. You just do this. Turning, you just do this. And it's like, I know from a beginner standpoint, it's like, and I get these questions all the times, the what ifs. What if questions? What if? What if I let it go out too much? What if I don't pull, or what if I keep it pulled in and I give it throttle? What if I smash the front brake? What if I don't pull it quick enough? What if I only use the rear brake? What if I only use the front brake? What if I do direct steering in a corner versus counter steering? What is counter steering? What do you mean counterweight? What's counterweighting? Like what? Like, I am looking. You're telling me to look left, turn left. I am looking left. Like, what if I don't look left? What if just all these different questions that can't be answered in a 15-minute video. And it's frustrating as a coach, because as somebody that does it myself, it's so hard, and I could see why a lot of these people make these YouTube videos. It is so hard to teach somebody how to ride a motorcycle with a video. It is so hard, because there's so much I would say 50%. So this is how education kind of works in this kind of space. and same thing for like shooting and anything physical, tactile, is that it's about 30% instruction, 70% coaching. And what's the difference? Instruction is what we do here on the live stream. This is instruction. And that's all YouTube can do, is instructing. It instructs you, maybe walks you through something. But coaching is when a student is actively doing something and you make minor tweaks with your knowledge to give them your knowledge so that they can make an adjustment. That's coaching. And that is incredibly hard because I can't be there with you guys while you're learning. Like, so I have to be able to express and show and weave in what ifs, weave in extra context into my instruction so that it makes more sense to you, so that when it comes time to you going out and doing the thing, you hear my voice with this instruction, with this context. So that's why I do the same crash and close call videos all the time. Is you guys are starting to hear open lane pattern. You guys are starting to hear side of the vehicle. You guys are starting to hear I need to position for safety and locate and assess and navigate. You're hearing that in your head while you're doing this because the whole point is to make it as simple as possible. Because I mean, what is an open lane pattern in reality? Like I could try to explain to you that an open lane, like I won't use the term open lane pattern. I can explain to you it's like you're in a lane and there's people stacked up and they switch lanes. So watch out for people switching lanes into you. So as a student, if I tell a student, it's like, watch out for people switching lanes into you, they're like, no, duh. Well, that's of course. So then if I express, hey, people will switch lanes into you, here's the pattern I want you to look out for, so that this is a very common precursor to somebody switching lanes into you. So when somebody does that, this is what you can do. And so then I am able to express, here's what to look for, versus just say, watch out for people switching lanes into you. Because when I see a lot of these videos, it's like just pulling the clutch and then let it go halfway. You know, here's braking, just squeeze it a little bit. It's like, okay, well, what does a little bit mean? What is a little bit when it comes to braking? So then I express and I explain, okay, what's a little bit? And then what's more for progressive braking, right? So if you don't know, progressive braking. All right. So instead of saying, hey, just squeeze the brake and then more, it's like, imagine you have an orange. You cut it in half and you got a Celsius here, but imagine you have a glass right here and you have an orange cut in half. You squeeze a little bit, right? A little bit of orange juice comes out. But if you don't squeeze anymore, it kind of stops, right? You squeeze a little bit more. But you see how much pressure you're putting on the orange? At first, it's a little bit difficult. Then it gets easier. Gets easier. More juice comes out. And then finally, you have it as much as you possibly can. That's as much as you can possibly get. And you're getting it in the glass, right? Okay, cool. That's progressive braking. Now, panic braking is just what it kind of looks like with an orange. You have your glass. You have an orange right here, cut in half, same thing. Panic braking is like you want to get it done right now. You need to stop right now. You want to get all the orange juice in this glass right now. So you smash it. Now what happens? You get orange juice everywhere. It just splurts out. It doesn't go into the glass below you. So progressive braking is the same pressure on your hand, but more and more quickly with that pressure. Panic braking, and what happens with panic braking, you get a loss of traction, you can dump the bike and you have to lay her down. So we don't want to smash it, we want to get that orange juice into that glass. You see how much more context you have to do? A little bit of metaphors, a little bit more context, more metaphors when it comes to progressive braking versus just telling somebody, squeeze it. So like, I see how hard it is when it comes to these videos, but that's the thing, is that because it's hard, and I'm just kind of journaling out loud in my head, because it's hard to do, nobody does it. once what I've noticed with like the vast majority, I think it's the vast majority of people, and including me, there's a lot of things that are hard for me that I just choose. I'm not going to do it. It's extremely hard to teach people how to ride a motorcycle with just YouTube videos. And so when it gets hard, people stop. 'Cause that's why I've seen just some of these videos, and I go to their YouTube and like they don't do those anymore. They do other stuff or they quit. It's like I've been doing this for 5+ years, and it's hard every single time. It's hard every single time. But that just tells me that I'm on the right path. I just need to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until it becomes easy enough for the student to learn. And with this last week, I spent all week really just kind of going through my notes, going through the curriculum. What is it? How do I do it? I filmed the last 2 chapters of Module 2. I was editing the last 2 chapters of Module 2, so that Module 2 is done for the most part. I think the last 2 chapters need a little bit, they need a little bit more editing. But Module 1, Module 2 are done. And Module 3 is rescue and then common writing scenarios. And this is one of the common writing scenarios. So I'm going to refilm this kind of stuff. And I'm looking at the length of so far Module 1 through 2 without the last 2 chapters. It's about 3 hours. 3 hours to get you from not like you bought a motorcycle, you're at your house, you have a helmet and gloves, a long sleeve t-shirt, pants and closed-toed shoes, and from that moment, and you have your permit. Get your permit. That's easy. It's a written test. You got your permit from your neighborhood, right? Like learning friction zone, learning braking, learning U-turns, learning figure eights, riding in your neighborhood, learning your swerves, learning your shifting, learning your braking, learning your turning. From there, you're going from the neighborhood to a parking lot. So now you're going from barely any traffic to a little bit of traffic, maybe a little bit more, using the plan method in the parking lot, doing 5 smart rider drills to get you ready. And then chapter 12, this is the one I'm still editing. Chapter 12 is the actual physical test, the actual test for the DMV for Arizona. I wish I had it uploaded so I can show it to you, but I'm still editing it. And that's 3 hours. 3 hours. But it's not 3 hours of bull. It's 3 hours of as much and as little context as I can give you so that you're not overwhelmed. So you're not overwhelmed. Because I want you to start writing. If you finish Module 1, you're pretty much good to go. But I wanted to give you guys extra in Module 2 and Module 3. So I'm working really hard. So 2026, once I finish Module 3, which is the rescue, and then a couple riding scenarios, so like riding in traffic, mountains, highway, night. After that's completely done, I'm going to work on the book. I'm going to work on a physical book for that video series. And then 2026, I'm diving into each chapter even further, and that's going to go on YouTube. And then what I want to do, and I'm going to answer, I did not get Battlefield 6 yet. I've been watching some videos on it. But if I get another video game, everything I'm talking about right now is not gonna, it'll take me away from what I'm trying to do here. Helldivers 2 itself is doing a good job of that. Exactly. You don't want to overwhelm or underwhelm. You want to whelm. And I know Battlefield 6 looks great. I might get it for the single player, at least to start, because once I start multiplayer, I'm gonna want to upgrade everything. Maybe I'll run as a medic, not get kills, just revive people. That's all I'll do. Just something fun. But anyways, so I'm focusing heavily on 2026. Another thing, exactly, Hog Rider, is I was thinking this last week is what to do with the Smart Rider crew, because that's another thing is is I want to create an online motorcycle club, but it's like there's a reason why there's no online motorcycle clubs. At least that I've seen. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong because I would like to talk to these people. And it's like, how did you do it? Um, so I'm coming up with ideas for that. And one thing I've kind of came up with so far is to run academies. So they could be boot camps, whatever. But I like to stay with the firefighter aesthetic because Dan the Fireman. But call them academies. And I try to go through my life experience, and I've been through technically 4 different academies. I went through an EMT academy when I was 18, and once I graduated that, it was 2 semesters. Or no, it was a semester. So let's say fall semester, EMT academy. Spring semester, there I didn't do anything. I just worked. I was 18, and then when I turned 19, I went through a fire academy, and that was tough. So we're talking semesters here, so 3-4 months, right? And then once I graduated, I think it was January, February, because it expanded a little bit more. I got hired as a firefighter EMT because I got the EMT cert and the fire cert July 2007. So I was 19, about to turn 20 when I was an actual career firefighter. But in order to be able to do that, it wasn't just like, hey, you got hired, now start your probationary year. They opened it up to everybody. And it's like, hey, here's 300 applicants, only 9 hires. I got in. They're like, hey, we're going to put you through a 14-week academy. And then you start. So I just, for 2, basically like a year or 2, one full year, 365 days, whatever. I went through 2 different academies just to get the certs so that I can get hired. And then I had to go, while hired, thankfully I was getting paid, but while hired, go through another academy. And it was a 14-week fire and EMT academy. It was a rushed academy. So it was even more intense with all this PT. Cool. Passed it. Was firefighter for 9 years. And then there was an opportunity in Tucson to get hired. There's an opening at a department, and I decided, I want to do something different. I want to live in a different city. I want to do this. I'm whatever, for whatever reasons. But in order to get hired there, I had to go through another academy. It wasn't a lateral transfer. It was, hey, we're opening up to everybody, go through the whole testing process. I had to compete against previous firefighters, and I had to compete against the open public to get hired, just to get into another academy, then hopefully pass the academy, go through a probationary year, and then start over. So I was 30, starting over again, like I was 19. And that was the toughest academy I've ever been through, like physically. And so I've been through 4 academies. And so my idea for the Smart Rider crew is just to kind of go through an academy. And what did I go through with an academy? Well, there was morning PT every day. There was the in-class lessons every day, unless we scheduled for a full day outside. But in-class lesson for like 2-3 hours, so till lunch. And then after lunch, it was on the training grounds doing the skill that we just learned in class. And then from there, you go home and you start again the next day. It was Monday through Friday outside of holidays, 2-hour PTs, 3-4 hours of in class, 4 or 5 hours outside. Boom, start another. And it was 14 weeks of that nonstop. You learn 2 or 3 skills a day, and then you'd have to remember. You have to remember and know them, because you have 2 to 5 more the next day, 2 to 5 more the next day. So you couldn't fall behind. That's the kind of cool part of the academy. And I excelled in those. So I was thinking for the Smart Rider crew is hosting. Right now I'm thinking 2 academies a year, 8 weeks, and well, it's like, what are we training for? Because fire academy, you're training for firefighters. There's 200 something skills you have to learn as a firefighter. So like, what are we training for? Well, let's go ahead and train for the Smart Rider Games. Let's do some PT. Let's do some PT. Let's do whatever you're currently doing. Let's do 3 days a week. I'm currently doing a powerlifting workout program, and I'm doing some calisthenics also. I'm doing all that stuff. But then let's go at least once a week. Let's go make sure we all go to the parking lot. You do it in your area, I do it in mine, and we train for the Smart Rider Games. Once a week. That's the physical outdoor stuff. But then I've developed an 8-week lesson plan, focusing heavily on rescue and common riding scenarios. So this is for people that already know how to ride for the most part. And at the end of 8 weeks, we will start the Smart Rider Games. And hopefully during those 8 weeks you've been practicing, because then once the 4-week Smart Rider Games happen, you'll be one of the top scorers on the thing. So I was thinking like the Smart Rider crew is kind of like a team. Like we're training as a team to get like high scores in the Smart Rider Games. So that's kind of the idea that I have for the Smart Rider crew so far. I would love to do like a bike night during the 8 weeks, like an online bike night. I would like to, part of the academies was doing some charity work. So maybe we could do some charity work out there. But it would be open to anybody that is part of the Smart Rider crew, which is the membership. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think something like that. So I'm going through that process for 2026 in my head. But right now, that's future stuff. Right now, it's finished, the Smart Rider Training Manual, and Module 1 and 2 is done. Module 3 is up next. The goal is to have it finished by end of October. It would take me a couple days to film, so maybe not finish editing, but at least by the end of October, hopefully everything's filmed. And then by end of December, the book is done completely. It's already printed and everything. And then 2026, we start on that whole process, that whole 2026 content schedule. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But that's kind of where I'm at. But that's what I was doing last week. She was in South Africa. She had a great time. She's still dealing with the jet lag. But she had a great time. Happy for her. Glad she's safe. That's all that matters. And so now she's back at work today, exhausted by noon, because it's a 9-hour difference from here. Yeah, just been working my butt off. And so last week I decided to take a week off when it came to the live stream, but I didn't take a week off when it came to filming and editing and all that other stuff. But I let's see. So this is the ADOT, Arizona Department of Transportation, the motorcycle stuff. So this is what you can, like, if you're trying to get your license and endorsement, your permit, you have to study this. Now, this looks an awful lot like the MSF book, right? It looks an awful lot like the MSF BRC1. And that's why. It's because they made it. So the MSF makes pretty much all the states. There's some states like Total Control won the state licensing, and so like California is Total Control, but Arizona is still MSF. And so like you have to study all this for the written test. All this stuff is the written test. Like this is the study stuff for the written test, and I think they even have in the bottom. I mean, like this is basically the MSF course. Like that's the crazy thing, is that this is you get basically instructed. Yeah, here's like a earning your license knowledge test. You're basically instructed during the MSF course, like in the classroom with all the slides, for those of you that have taken the MSF, does this look familiar? Like, they just teach you this in class, and they have fun exercises that you can do in class to keep you, engaged. And I was an MSF writer coach, so I know this. I even have I'm looking at the instructor paperwork here, the instructor book that we have to help us walk us through all this stuff. So this is all the MSF stuff. So when you get to the beginning, because it talks about Arizona specifically, you get to this. So written tests, here's the written test, blah, blah, blah. Exercises for two-wheeled motorcycles. This is, what is that? Does that look familiar? Right? I mean, this looks familiar. Like, this is the DMV test. This is the test you take at your Department of Transportation, your motor vehicle division, all these other things. Like, they have a little lot for motorcycle testing, and this is what the lot looks like. Like that right there. And so let's get the pen out. And so you take your written test so that you can get your motorcycle permit so you can start practicing. There's some restrictions on that. For Arizona, no riding at night, no riding with passengers, no riding on the highway. That's pretty much it. And so then after you do that, I think you're supposed to get like 240 hours, like some crazy number of hours, like written, maybe not that much. And then you can go in and take your endorsement, like the actual skills test. And this is what the skills test. You show up to the DMV, they have one proctor with a clipboard, and they're like, okay, they'll read you off. They'll be like, okay, so exercise 1, you're going to make a right turn between the boundary lines. Do not touch either line or put foot down, diagonally cross to the opposite side of the range, and make a left U-turn inside the painted box at the far end of the range. Do not touch the solid line or the dashed line or put a foot down. Stop with your front tire inside the box and wait for further instructions. Do you understand? That's pretty much what they're going to say. And so what does that mean? Which one was this? This was the, cone weave. This is what it means. That's what it means. That's what you're supposed to do. That's exercise 1. Exercise 2, turn from a stop. I'm not going to read all that. Actually, sorry, I said turn from a stop, so I need to read the other one. Ride to the right side of the first cone to the left of the second, and so on. Weave past all 5 cones without touching or skipping a cone or putting foot down. Turn left. So what I just did right here, that was this one right here. Now I made it too tiny. That's the first exercise. So the one I just read was the U-turn. So it was a tight turn. I made it actually too big again. It was a tight turn. So turn from a stop, U-turn. Turn from a stop, U-turn. You start right here on number 2. Do sharp turn. Come around. Do U-turn and stop. So that's second exercise. Third exercise is the braking. So you speed up 12 to 18 miles per hour. You have to hit 12 or 18 miles per hour at this point or getting close to it. At least get 12 to 18 right here. Start applying the brakes when you cross the 2 cones right here in this spot right here. Brake. And let's say you stop right here. This is the line that they mark you at. You're good to go. Number 4 right here. Same spot. Same thing. Speed. 12 to 18 miles per hour. 12 to 18 miles per hour. Swerve left or swerve right. That's it. And so I'm teaching this. Let's hide that. I'm teaching this skills test. This is chapter 12. This is what I'm editing right now. Chapter 12. But this is just MSF. They tell you helmet, gloves, clothing, long pants or jacket, boots or shoes, face shield, goggles. You don't even need a helmet if you're 18 or older. So you fail to demonstrate basic control, you commit an unsafe act, you fall or drop, mechanical failure, all this other stuff. But yeah, this is all MSF stuff. But imagine having to do this on your own. Like you're reading all this. You're reading all this, trying to do it on your own, not taking the MSF, having no instruction or coaching. just guessing through. This is what most people do. This is what most people do with no help. It's a lot. A lot of the stuff you don't even really need to know, like to get riding. Like you need to learn about linked and integrated braking systems. Yeah. So I'm teaching this right now. So in Arizona, there's no law that says you have to wear a helmet unless you're under 18. Seriously, in Arizona, all you have to wear, and I always made this joke as an MSF rider coach because people would ask that same question. It's like, well, you don't need to wear a helmet? It's like, no, not really. You don't have to unless you're under 18. Or if you have a passenger that is under 18. What you can actually do in the state of Arizona is ride as a guy or a girl with nothing on but a thong. Oh, so for a guy, you can ride with nothing on but a thong, a G-string thong barely covering the its and bits of your body, and a pair of glasses. That's it. Naked otherwise. No gloves, no boots, no shoes, no pants, no underwear other than the thong, no shirt, no helmet, just a pair of glasses and something that covers your junk, because now the thing that would be illegal if you're completely naked is indecent exposure and a few other things. So the only thing you're required to have in the state of Arizona is eye protection. That's it. That's the only thing you're required to have is eye protection. And my students were like, what the heck? I was like, yeah, that's all that's required is eye protection. Which is funny because I see a bunch of people riding around without glasses or even a shield on. I'm like, that's illegal. See, that's the crazy thing is you can wear full gear with a full face helmet, and if you flip your visor up or you don't have a face shield and your eyes are being exposed to the wind, like with no glasses, nothing, it's just open, you're not riding within the law. Full gear, everything. You just have your visor open, no glasses on. You're not riding within the law. You have to have eye protection on. And so you see, like, from my point of view, like, you didn't know that. Like, a lot of people don't know this. And so my position is I need to know this so that when I tell you guys what to do and how to do it, I have to know if it's legal or not. Because like I was about to film a bunch of this stuff earlier this year, and I had the curriculum and everything. It's like, we're just gonna stay in the neighborhood. We don't need to go anywhere else. We can stay in the neighborhood. I'm gonna put cones in the street. I was gonna go film the next day, and I said, you know what? Let me look up something real quick. So I looked up the law in Arizona, Arizona revised statutes, and you can't have cones on the street. It's illegal to have cones on the street. It's illegal to mark the street with chalk. It's illegal. And so I had a little fun with ChatGPT, and I was asking, okay, well, as a kid, I used to put cones in the street, or even like a goal, like playing soccer. And there's kids that draw on the street all the time with chalk. Like, is that illegal? And ChatGPT and all that stuff was like, understand this law for me, come from a point of view of a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, technically, it is illegal for the children to put cones and chalk up the street. And I was like, well, I don't see, and I had like a chat with ChatGPT. I was like, well, I never hear stories about cops arresting kids or their parents for doing that because they're just playing in the street. And it's like, the whole point is like, cars coming. So I remember as a kid, we'd yell out car and we'd move everything out of the way so the car can go. And it's like, all right, play on. I think we've all done that. At least my generation. None of these new kids, they're on their phones. Now I sound like a boomer, but whatever. And so I was like, but that's not a problem. It's like, yeah, it's usually at the discretion of the officer. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So if I'm over here practicing motorcycle skills in, yeah, so you're not enforcing, yeah, so like that's the thing. Is like some laws are kind of weird, huh, Elad? So it's like if I was a motorcyclist practicing and making a lot of noise because of engine noise and maybe creating a little bit of tire marks here and there because I'm braking, it's like that makes more sense to ticket that person versus ticketing a kid having fun. Like the optics of it looks different. And ChatGPT was like, yeah, like that's really the thing. And I was like, okay, well, one's if I'm not doing anything crazy, but let's say a neighbor's pissed off at me and calls the cops because I'm making too much noise on a Saturday at 10 a.m., whatever it is. And it's like now there's a noise complaint on top of me doing something technically illegal. It's like the cop could just tell you not to do it, or they can actually enforce it and ticket you. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, see, that's the kind of stuff I have to look up and have to be aware of, so that if I'm over here telling you guys in a YouTube video, hey, just go ahead and chalk up your street, go ahead and put cones on your street, and then you get in trouble, now I feel like a D-bag for helping you get in trouble. And so the module 1 is still in the neighborhood, but no cones. We're utilizing driveways as markers. We're using mailboxes and markers, and we're doing stuff like that. And then in a parking lot, we're using cones, because in a parking lot, it's not considered a public street. It's considered like a parking lot. It's a different classification. So I had to like look all that stuff up, because like I said, all you have to have is glasses when you're riding in Arizona. You don't have to have anything else. So I find like little loopholes here and there. I think that's what got me in trouble as a firefighter, a lot. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm trying to find the best way, and I looked up different states too, because I have an audience all over the country. And that's how I found out there's 2 states. I think Florida. There's one more state. I want to say Florida, that it is required. It is required that you go to the MSF. Like, let me rephrase it. There's 2 states in the United States that there is no permit or endorsement process for you to just do it on your own. You have to go through an MSF or some kind of basic rider course to get a motorcycle license. You have to. So I found that out. So in those 2 states, this thing doesn't really help out that much, outside of module 3. And then there's a couple states that there is a permitting process that you can go get your permit and practice, but then you have to go to the MSF to get your license. So I've been like looking so I'm trying to like really help out everybody, but at the end of the day, I can only this whole Smart Rider training manual, and we're gonna get to the crashes, guys. We're just kind of chatting a little bit. The Smart Rider training manual that I'm working on right now is very specific, especially module 1 and module 2. It's very specific for those of you that want to learn how to ride a motorcycle with me coaching you, and so that you don't have to go to the MSF. I'm trying to offer an alternative. I'm trying to offer a choice, because right now it's either you learn on your own or you go to the MSF. So I want to add in the third. You learn on your own, you go to the MSF, or you learn with me coaching you, and then you can test on your own or go to the MSF if you want after that. That's where the training manual fits. So that's what I'm doing. We missed a week, so we need that. Yeah, we do. We do a little bit. So that's what I've been working heavily on. Like, I want to share more, guys. I want to share more with you. Let's go. Let's do this. This is the idea. This is the idea. So this is the training manual. This is the Smart Rider training manual, but expanded. So gear, with controls, friction zone braking control, turn from stop. So once a week, right? That's why it's month 2. U-turns, figure eights, smooth shifting, neighborhood riding, applying all the basics, the safety pre-ride checklist. And so this is where it's expanded, because I did 1 video for plan. Now I'm going to do 4. So position for safety, 3. So locate and assess and navigate, and then DMV test. Turn from a stop, U-turn, braking and swerving, full license test simulation, putting it all together. Rescue, city, highway, mountain, and then how to set up the Smart Rider Games course. So, and then repeat. So there's that. And this is what I've got so far. So module 1 is foundation. So all this crossed out stuff is what I filmed. So we got all this. And then I have this to do. I have this left. But you see, like, even I was making notes August 28th. So I've been really working on all of this for a long time. Cross this out. Alt Shift 5. Shift 5. And then this is what I was working on this last week. Let me get to my recents. Oh, you guys, yeah, you're not gonna care about that. That's all behind the scenes. Yeah, you're not gonna care about that. That's all like production schedule, how to set up the cameras and whatnot. Yeah. All right. So enough kind of catching up, having some fun there. Just showing you guys that I'm working a lot. And the thing is, I'm trying not to use this. Trying not to use this at all. What is this? Any of you guys an MSF rider coach? Looks familiar? Been to an MSF class and you see the coaches walking around with this? Anybody remember this? Here's the test. Not using any of this, and it has my name on it because I was an MSF rider coach. Just kind of reading interesting notes. I wrote a lot of notes. But anybody remember like this thing? That's a fun day right there. That's practicing your straight line weave and tight turn and swerves. That was a fun exercise. And going over an obstacle. But trying, like, not using any of this. Yeah. Got fined in Germany for being 1 kilometer above. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, I don't want to go to Germany. All right, let's get this all situated. Do I still have this button work? Oh, shoot. That button still works. I used to have lessons in the back. Do I still not? No, I don't have AR assets. No. I forgot I had that button. Does that button? No, that button doesn't work anymore. Wait, maybe? Let's see. No. Okay. All right. We're going to hit that record button. Just wanted to chat with you guys a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't know. I just get excited. We're not going to hit the record button yet, I guess. I just get super excited about teaching people how to ride a motorcycle. I don't know why teaching people how to ride a motorcycle is my thing. I don't understand it. I remember when I first started, it was because like I was just doing it for fun. And then I really leaned into it heavily because after I left the fire service, you guys were the ones that are supporting me to do this full time. So it's like my mission has just always been to serve the motorcycle community because you guys have supported me. But now I'm just, I don't know. I guess I don't want to lose sight of that. But I absolutely just like, I can't turn my brain off when it comes to like, how can I teach this better? How can I teach this better? How can I teach this better? Okay, what do I need to do? What kind of curriculum? What can I say? What should I say, not say? What structure should it be in? Where the camera angle should be, like if I'm doing it all by myself and don't have a camera person with me, how do I set these things up? And, just constant. Have we been streaming for an hour? Oh, shoot. We have been streaming oh my gosh. We've been chatting for an hour, Moto Gaga. You're right. We got to get started. Everybody, we got pizza today. Have a slice of pizza. We've been talking for an hour. I had to make up for last week. We got 3 videos today. Let's get into Dan the Fireman mode. No longer Daniel. I'm not Daniel right now. You guys got to see Daniel. That's why I like having these chats. But now we're getting into Dan the Fireman. We're just gonna get into that little personality of Dan, not Daniel. Dan. All right. We got my pen. All right. We're gonna draw a little car. We're gonna practice. Here's the 2 tires, side of the vehicle. There's the side of the vehicle. It looks great. Here's the headlights. All right, it looks like a hat. I didn't realize I was drawing a hat. Here we go. 3. I know, I want a pizza so bad. I've been doing really... Okay, stop distracting me. 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. We're going to be going over some crashes and close calls. This is a brand new MotoStars video, but we're going to be going over the plan method very specifically. This is a very beginner-friendly or beginner motorcycle-friendly type video. We're going to go over so many different things to prevent crashes and close calls for you. So if you're brand new to riding or you're wanting to get into riding, pay attention. You can actually do this while you're driving too. A little bit different because you can't swerve like crazy, but we're going to focus on some really important things. So pay attention. There's some crazy stuff in here. Let's take a look. I haven't seen it, but I assume there is because it's a compilation. All right, MotoStars is talking.
Watch closely and
Okay, are we going to switch lanes? Because nope. Oh, uncommon thing. Good job at the brakes. Okay, very good. Very good for this motorcycle rider. I'm going to explain what he did right. There's nothing you could have done for that car right there. Maybe we can rescue... Oh, they're taking off. They're embarrassed. Stay away from... Yeah, time to get out of there. Very good. All right, let's go back a little bit. All right. Crazy. Was not expecting that. So this motorcycle rider, I was pointing out right here.
Closely and right.
Typically, we're going to hopefully see an open lane pattern pretty soon. But typically, right, if you're driving or if you're walking in a line at Starbucks or whatever, or you're waiting in line at Starbucks or whatever, you don't want to be stuck behind all these people, right? You're going to switch lanes. That's typically what people do. Okay, that's an open lane pattern. This is an open lane. This is a pattern, what you typically see, and you want to switch lanes. Or if you're already in this lane, this person wants to switch lanes into you. That's usually how it goes. So that's what I was pointing out right there. But
Safe.
We're riding here. As soon as you see that, it's going to cause like, a panic. No matter if you're in a car or if you're walking on the side or you're on a motorcycle, it's going to cause a panic. What people typically do in a panic is they try to slam the brakes. Okay, don't slam the brakes. Don't slam this brake, the front brake or the rear brake. The rear brake's on your right foot. Don't slam it. Remain calm. This is what you do after a motorcycle crash, but it really helps out when it comes to a lot of scary situations. I did the RE as a way to regulate your emotions and regulate what's going on in your body when there's an emergency happening. Okay, an emergency could be that your kid fell down the stairs. Remain calm, ensure your own safety first. I mean, it's going to be hard for you as a parent, but remain calm at least. So in this situation, it's, oh crap. Okay, remain calm. Now I have to ensure my own safety. So this person's acting like an idiot in front of you. He's reaching for the clutch. So brand new riders, we're going to spend a lot of time on this one, and we're going to maybe spend some time on some other ones. Reaching for the clutch. What does the clutch do? When you pull it in, it removes the engine. It basically disconnects the engine to that rear wheel. The rear wheel is where the power from the engine goes. So the clutch is basically saying, nope, disconnect. And so your engine is going to be running, but none of the power from the engine is going to the back wheel because you pulled in the clutch. And that's what you do when you shift. You pull in the clutch, you shift, and all that stuff. But in an emergency braking, you pull in that clutch. Okay, that's going to be great. Okay, because then if you mess up your throttle hand, no power is going to get to it. So that's great. So you're going to pull in the clutch, and he's reaching for that front brake, and he's going to do progressive braking. So he's going to squeeze the front brake more, and more. Okay? I go over that in the training manual that I'm currently working on. I hope you guys see it. I do have some older videos for progressive braking. So boom, 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 boom. The reason why he's doing that, he's going to try to ensure his own safety because that person's ahead of him acting like an idiot. If that car crashes into that car, or that car slams the brakes too, and you're not doing anything, you're going to run into the back of that vehicle. So good job for ensuring his own safety here. So he's applying the brakes. And if you notice, let's go back just a little bit. We're in the middle of the lane, right? Middle of the lane. Oh crap, sees it. Still in the middle of the lane. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Moving over to the right. And that's where we come up with position for safety. So this right here is super important for you guys to remember. Okay, so all the other terms are great and all, but this right here, this is the basis, the first principles, the foundation of everything that you do. Let's bring it back up. So he moved to a new position for safety because he located that hazardous situation. It is a relevant threat, navigated it by applying the brakes and pulling the clutch, and then moves himself back into a new position for safety, which is off to the right. So you see how it all comes together with plan? So now he's slow rolling it. That vehicle is aimed at us. What are they going to do? They're obviously idiots. So we're just going to kind of creep into it. Like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, now we're here. They're taking off. Okay, what's going on? We're pulled off to the side. They don't need help. Probably saw the person spin out and now is aimed towards us. Now he's doing emergency acceleration to get out of this craziness. You see how it all plays in? It's a survival thing. Plan method is a survival thing for when you're out riding or driving. So you could do this while you're driving. And if this was like a crazy situation where there's like an erratic person out on the street and you're like kind of creeping up, it's like, I have to get that way. So you're kind of like, what the heck is this? And then they start running that way. You're like, screw it, I'm going to go this way. So you can do this anywhere you go. All right, we spent a lot of time on that. So we'll see if there's some fun ones. Let's see if we can go ahead and work on some more plan method, maybe some patterns here. Okay, so we have somebody slamming the brakes. Same thing. So same thing for this motorcycle rider. Was applying the brakes and saw that ahead of time. Wear gear, though. I'm going to tell you guys that. As smart riders, we're going to require and use personal protective equipment. So full gear. Road rash is going to suck. Thankfully, it has a full face helmet, but look forward to. All right. Rain situation. Lower traction because of the rain and some oil and whatever's on the ground. You see the visibility? This is the raindrop on his GoPro or his action camera lens. So that's just on the lens. Now imagine your face shield. We don't have windshield wipers like a windshield does. On our face shield, it's just going to get blotted. So this is your vision. So you have vision problems, traction problems. And then one thing that a lot of people don't recognize, especially if you're not wearing rain gear, it looks like he's wearing rain gear, is that you're going to have a lot of heat transfer. You're going to lose a lot of your body heat. So when you're riding in the rain, you're going to get cold. And what happens when you get cold? Maybe not hypothermia, because hypothermia is when you start getting really bad tremors in your body, like uncontrollable tremors. But you can start getting numbness. And so your reaction time is a little bit less. So reaction time, traction loss. I'm not saying it's not doable. It's doable, right? Elad, you like riding in the rain? It's absolutely doable and it's kind of fun, but there's higher risks. Okay, so easier on the acceleration, easier on the braking, easier on the turning. Get home as soon as you can. Loss of traction. There it is. Hit a bump, it looks like on the road with the bridge. You see the little crack right there? Hit a bump. Lost traction because there's a little bit less. Let's go back a little bit right when he hits the bump. Oh, one hand. Yeah, both hands on the handlebars. The bump messed him up. Try your best to ride with both hands. I get it, it's comfy. I ride with one hand sometimes.
This rider was heading home from work
Same
when he
thing.
decided to take a
Nighttime.
right turn instead of stopping at the red light.
Clutching,
He went in with too
downshifting,
much speed
indicator,
and
great.
Gear forcing a deep lean that
Oh, you need to slow down before that turn, buddy. So remember what I said to easier on the acceleration, braking, and turning? This is exactly it right here. Is that we're coming into this turn. If it wasn't raining, probably could have done it well. Probably a little bit wide, but still did it, right? So probably still could have made it because we had a lot of traction because it's dry. Now right here,
that quick
right here in the intersection after a rain, all that oil that's in the middle where when cars are stopped and keep dripping oil, right? The water and oil don't mix. So what happens is when it rains, the water gets underneath the oil, lifts the oil, and starts to slide across the surface of the road versus the oil kind of being impregnated into the asphalt. So when you have that oil lift up, it's slippery now. So slow down, especially on these turns. Watch out for that oil, slow down so that when you make this turn, you have as much traction as you possibly can. So take these turns slower than you think you need to, especially when it's raining.
we push the limits.
And so he lost traction right on that turn and fell in, which sucks. Thankfully, there was no car there. It's just a single vehicle accident. For those of you that are new riders, you're starting to understand like what I'm trying to point out. I'm not trying to scare you into not riding. I'm trying to show you, because people are posting this stuff, I'm trying to show you what the common reasons why people are crashing and how to avoid them. Okay, high speed. If you're the hazard itself, assess if you're a relevant threat to you. Oh. You guys saw that? Let's wait for the plan method to go away. All right, what do we do here? What do we do here? Well, we're speeding. Let's try not to speed in the first place, but we're speeding. Let's say we're just going normal speed. Let's say it's the flow of traffic. It's the speed limit. We're doing this, right? We have 3 things that we can do. 3 things. In an emergency situation, there's only 3 things. Honking the horn, not really one of them, because you can't trust what the dog's going to do if you honk the horn. You can only trust yourself, and that's why I say it boils down to 3 things. You can only emergency accelerate, emergency swerve, or emergency brake. Those are the 3 things for any situation you're going to be in. Now, if we emergency accelerate, we're just going to hit the dog harder because the dog is right in our path. So how do we avoid the dog? Can we stop in time? Probably not. Our total stopping distance is going to be too big. Okay, we're going to start let's say we start braking right now. We're probably going to stop where that white building is or a little bit past the dog. I can't tell because of the camera. So we have to swerve. Now, here's the thing that sucks when it comes to animals is that they're so unpredictable, is that you can swerve right thinking that the dog's going to keep going that way, but it can change direction. You can swerve left and hit the dog because it's going that way, or it might switch around. So right, Black Cloud, it's 50-50. But here's the thing. If you don't do anything and the dog stays right there, you're going to hit it. So you have to do something. This is a crappy thing. This is life here for you guys. This is a life lesson, is that sometimes you're going to do what you think is right, and sometimes you still fail. But you have to make a choice. You have to do something. Action versus just thinking. So swerve left or swerve right? Let's see what happens here. What do you think he did? The rider was on his way to teach a kickboxing class, and dog suddenly ran across the road. He didn't have time to react and went down hard, a painful reminder that things can change in a split second. What do you think he did?
Ahí terminó todo. Caí fuerte, la moto voló.
Think about it.
Gracias a todas estas personas que
See how far he is?
algunos eran
So
alumnos.
even if he did amazing braking, you see how he's like past that white building I was talking about? So that's what I was talking about, total stopping distance. It wouldn't have mattered.
Míos, otros son
if he applied the brakes. You have to swerve. Whoa. Okay, that one's going to be interesting. But let's see if he hit... Did he crash? This is what I'm trying to point out. Those of you in the chat, you guys have been here long enough. You guys know. I see some had to lay her down. But let's see. Did he hit the dog? I think that's the dog right there. I don't think he hit the dog. Okay, so if he didn't hit the dog, what happened then? How'd he crash if he didn't hit the dog? Look at the front brake. That's his front brake. So how'd he crash? I'm reading the chat. Slammed his brakes. Slammed the rear brake. Very good observation. So we're pointing this out for new riders here. Is that what I say? Emergency brake, emergency swerve, emergency acceleration. He did not swerve. He did not accelerate. He used a lot of braking. Now, if he's not using the front brake, well, maybe he is. Let's see. So he's already squeezing here, but he's releasing, and then he falls. So a little bit of a panic. We have two brakes. We have the front brake right here, and then right where our right foot is. So I believe, I don't think he hit the dog. I think he slammed that rear brake as hard as he possibly could, locked up the rear tire, lost traction, and fell down. So panicked. So what can we have done in this situation differently? Just swerve. Just swerve. So when people say, if you're a brand new rider and you're like, you hear stories like from other motorcycle riders, back, especially the older ones, like I had to lay her down. I used to ride all the time, and then I stopped riding because I had to lay it down because a car pulled out in front of me or a dog pulled out in front of me. That's what laying it down looks like. That's what laying it down looks like, is they slam the brake because they panic and they fall down because they lost traction. There's usually something you can do differently.
Personas que iban pasando por ahí que me asisten.
Okay, road rage, not much you can do there. Road rage is kind of a... This is why you don't participate in road rage. You're going to lose because of that. That's all it takes. All right, here we go. Going pretty fast, having some fun. We're in a low side. Yep, there it is. So it's hard to see because of the camera angles. There goes the bike. Is that we're in the middle of a turn, leaned it too far down, lost traction on the rear on the tires, either front or rear, and did a low side. So what do we think? What was the mistake here? Going a little too fast and leaning the bike super far down. So low side. So what can we do in that situation? Let's not just enjoy the weather, just enjoy the road. I mean, this is a beautiful area. Just enjoy this. Leaned it too far, fell down. Yeah, the bike's like, I'm out. Right, Smee? All right, see if we can just kind of skip some of these other ones, or at least make them quick, because we're 16 minutes into this one. Barely 3 minutes into the video itself, so let's have some fun here. All right. So line of sight's kind of an issue. Good job with the space cushion.
Safe pace, but noticed the car braking ahead too late. He reacted sharply, hit the brakes, and couldn't keep the bike steady.
Oh, same thing. Now, you have to give this guy a little bit, but it's the same thing. Applied the brakes really hard, and you hear the skidding. So we locked up the tires and lost traction, because once we're sliding, we were losing traction. Braking isn't about stopping the tires. The braking is about slowing the tires down so much that we can stop. So they're still rotating. You're just slowing them down a ton. You don't want to stop the tires, because then you're going to slide. So we have to give them a little bit of credit here, because this type of road is absolutely slippery. It's slippery. So if we know that, right? If we know this type of road is slippery, we should probably increase our space cushion and be prepared for braking, because we need more total stopping distance. So you see what I mean? It's like we can be here and be like, hey, I blame the road. Or we can be here and say, I know the road is not as safe as an asphalt road, so I should probably take some precautions. You see how I changed it from it's the road's fault to there's something I can learn? And that's what I want you guys to be taking away from a lot of these live streams and my videos is that, yeah, there's issues out there in the real world, but there's a lot of things you can prevent and take control and take responsibility for, and that's really just you. So that's the whole point of learning. And that's why we're watching these things, so that we can learn from mistakes or real world events so that you don't have to make the same one. Oh, geez. All right. So this is why I really like road laws that are enforced. I don't care about the bike. I don't care about the bike. I care about the person. Okay, let's go back just a little bit. All right. We're passing. This is why I say like road laws. There's no center line. I mean, here's the center line stripe, but it's for oncoming traffic. There's no slashed line for a 2-lane road. So we're passing people within the same lane, technically. I don't like doing that. I don't want to do that because if everyone assumes that this is a single lane, somebody's going to take a left or take a right. And we're passing on either one. And that's not smart. That's not good. Because this person that turned left, once again, we can blame the car driver for turning left because we collided with them. But in reality, this is a single lane. That's their lane. They can make a choice to turn left or not. You're making a choice to pass. You're not even in the lane. She's not even in the lane. You're making that choice. So your choices have consequences. The person turning left, their choice, their consequences, they turn left. They weren't anticipating you coming up. So we should not be doing stuff like this. So here she tries to swerve, but she swerved her butt. Okay, so whenever I said mercy braking, mercy swerve, mercy acceleration. When it comes to swerving, you have to swerve hard. Hard. You can't just be like, I'm going to turn a little bit. No, it's an mercy. You're swerving hard, and you can do it. You can do it. Swerve hard. It's much easier at a slower speed. So we have that massive impact, and this is why I say wear gear, okay? We have that massive impact. We're going to hit her pelvis, break her pelvis possibly, break her arms. She's got a full face helmet on, that's good. But when we talk about mechanism of injury, so right now, the sliding across the gas tank hitting, pelvis, easy. And then the moment she hits the ground, so you see how the ejection works. So there's the tailbone. So the coccyx. So we have lower spine, lumbar spine, and then the bottom part, which is the coccyx. Possible braking. Same thing with the hips here. Compression of the spine. Whiplash with cervical spine. There's the back of the head getting impacted. And then right here, this is where she's knocked out. Because she's not getting up after this. Probably knocked out. Coup contre coup. The brain sloshes in the brain or into the skull. So boom, impact. So the brain hits the inside of the skull on the back. It slides forward, hits the front of the skull, and it keeps doing this until it stabilizes. But it's hitting the inside of the skull, which is causing bruising of the brain, knocking you out. So we hit the ground here. Okay. So you can see the initial reaction is I got to help my buddy, but I'm hearing the engine of the bike keep going on. So in a panic, you tend to go where you're trained. You go to do the thing that's most comfortable to you. And as motorcycle riders, we know how to turn off bikes. So we just immediately stop thinking, immediately start doing, and we're doing the thing that we know. What I want you guys to get into is, this is what I want you guys to know. I want this first. Because that person could be bleeding out and you could stop the bleed, but while you're trying to do this, they're bleeding, they're bleeding, they're bleeding, they're bleeding, they're bleeding, they're bleeding, they're bleeding. And then we only know how to pull the phone out. So if you have your own trauma kit, you could have been going towards your trauma kit. You could have been directing people on how to handle this situation. And you could have told somebody, where it says remain calm, to call 911 while you're handling that person. So you can actually tell other people to do the things that they know how to do. You do the things that you know how to do. So you delegate. All right, moving on. Kid elderly woman starts to cross the road and driver proceeds to carry on.
Wait, go. Man. People crossing.
Risky, but I don't mind.
Reminder why it's crucial to stay extra alert during speed.
Yeah, don't do this because you have people. It's just too much chaos. Too much chaos on that. We're all lane splitting. We're crossing through traffic, not really looking. Oh, someone's gonna hit us. Wow, turn on the saturation for this video. That's not really how green it is. All right, big group. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so these motorcycle riders could have done a little bit more to help prevent this. Okay, she's probably gonna be a thumbnail. Usually women on the thumbnails get more views. But these motorcycle riders could have at least, let's go back a little bit more. They could have at least had somebody like right here. Or at least a bike right here. Or somebody. You'd be like, hey, like, there's an object in the road. That's kind of, it's kind of ridiculous. Unless it is meant to be there, like it's designed so that nobody can drive that way, and this person's the only one that didn't know that. All right. Oh, not paying attention. Oh, kept it up. Good for her. So what happened here? She's doing the whole TikTok-y thing. Gotta get a thumbnail. Doing the whole TikTok-y thing, obviously recording in vertical. You know, dancing to music. She's gonna edit some music to it. This is one of the big problems when it comes to filming when you're a brand new rider and you want to make some YouTube content, some TikTok, some Instagram reels, whatever. You're not focused on the ride. You're focused on the content creation. And one of the big things that I learned early on, because I've been doing this for almost, I think, a decade now almost, is that you document, you don't create. So you're documenting your training, you're documenting your life. You're not trying to create, because if you're just documenting, you're just doing your thing. But if you're trying to create something while you're riding, you're going to put yourself at a different risk level. Because now you're not focused on the thing that's supposed to be important, which is riding. So, like, pay attention. I'm sure she's paying attention to the camera, not paying attention to the biking or the riding. Now she sees it. Pulls in the clutch. Thankfully, she's quick. This car pulls out in front of her. What do we do? So once again, mercy brake, mercy swerve, or mercy acceleration. You have to find the escape path to escape into with your swerve, right? So she found it right here. So very good, because you notice how tiny that is. How tiny that is. So that's what we can do on a motorcycle versus a car. But in a car, hopefully you're paying more attention. And plus you got four tires and multiple brakes to be able to stop in time. So she found this gap right here. So very good. So great swerve. And then once she got through it, she can't keep swerving left. She's going to hit the guardrail. She has to swerve right. There's the swerve right. So we swerved left, and then we swerved right to stay in lane. And now she's got to check her pants. All right, here we go.
Here we have a situation where the rider was suddenly surprised.
Intersections are dangerous for motorcycle riders. So when we locate hazardous situations, corners and intersections, a roundabout is an intersection because of stuff like that. So when I said emergency acceleration, emergency braking, emergency swerving, we get to, let's go back to here. We're hoping that person's going to stop because they're supposed to. They're supposed to yield. They got a yield sign too.
Thankfully, the rider managed to brake in time and the collision was avoided.
You're like, oh crap. Okay, what do we do? Emergency swerve, emergency accelerate, emergency brake. Well, our nose, I'm going to go forward a little bit. Our nose is already pointed towards where our exit was. So we can emergency accelerate with that throttle.
Taking time and the collision.
So right here, we see it. Okay, we can emergency accelerate. There's an option. We can emergency brake because we're not going super fast. So we could probably stop pretty soon and let them in. But you have to make a choice. You can't freeze and do nothing. You got to do something. Got lucky there because he did do nothing. Sometimes they just don't stop. It looks like the person slowed down because they finally saw it. Don't lane filter or lane split at a high speed. Thankfully, he found the escape and swerved off. So this is an open lane pattern. That truck switched lanes because he didn't want to be stuck behind that white car. Okay, so when I say open lane pattern, this right here. You see how all these cars are kind of stacked right here? And this is like a nice open lane. Any of these cars might want to come out. So when I see this pattern, it gives me caution. And that's what they did, but he found an escape and swerved out of the way. That's what you do if somebody does that. Thankfully, there was an escape. If there's no escapes for you, maybe don't do the risky behavior. Only do it when you have an out. He's gonna check his pants right now. Just be cautious when it comes to splitting. This is probably California. It's legal to do so. Almost hit that car. All right, here we go. Chris Porter, good space cushion. We're doing pretty well. We can see pretty far around. Random person decides to do that, let them. They did it, you just kind of let them. Don't get into road rage, don't get angry. It's panicky, it gives you a little bit of a fear. Let the idiot be in front. If you're gonna do stuff like this, you know you're taking a big risk. So it's up to you. You do know if you do crash the vehicle, your motorcycle, and it hits a car, let's say it hits the side of a car and it hits the back passenger in the back seat, and that back seat had a child seat in it. It has a little kid, and your 50-pound motorcycle crashed into the side of that door, compartment intrusion, and kills that kid. Well, guess what? You're going to jail for vehicular manslaughter and reckless riding and all that other stuff. So take all the risks you want. Just realize that they do have consequences. It's up to you. And usually crashes like this end up like that. And they usually don't have any gear. So that one, it looks like he's pushing his buddy. So let's take a quick look. So this one looks like he's basically towing his buddy. He's putting his left foot on the right peg of the guy on the left, and he's pushing. It's kind of high risk. It's one way to tow someone somewhere on a bike. It's high risk because you could crash into each other. That's pretty much what happened there. That's pretty much what happened. It sucks, but he was trying to help his buddy. What the heck is that piece? Alright, high risk. Did you see what I mean? Did you see what I mean? I just said it. If you're going to be taking these risks, you could probably hit a kid if you fail, or you hit somebody and you fail. So this person doing a wheelie can't control it in a very high risk area, trying to show off at a convention or something, like farmer's market for some reason. Bunch of pedestrians walking around, can't even control it after a quick wheelie. Hits people standing there working on their car. That will break somebody's leg. Easy.
We have a situation where the rider decides to show off in a densely crowded area.
And you can get your ass beat.
The riders and bystanders in serious danger.
Yep. All right, so Tail of the Dragon. Tend to see a lot of people crashing.
No parking.
I love it when people say that.
Does he got
I love that the
permit?
Thankfully, it was a car, has a crumple zone, airbags, seatbelts, and all that stuff. Oh, pedestrian side. That was an intersection. Dude, did you not see what I mean by there's 3 things you can do? Honking the horn's not going to help. So he's honking. It might not work. They might have headphones.
mano,
They might.
faz isso,
They're not
velho.
paying attention.
Faz isso, meu
So
irmão.
mercy braking to avoid
Tá
that.
bem?
You can't swerve because of the cars. You don't want to accelerate into
Tá
them.
bem, mano?
So you would have to do some mercy braking.
Aí eu vou te ajudar a pagar, fica calmo.
All right, good staggered. Not even staggered. In corners like this, if you're in a group ride, I don't want to be close and staggered. I like how they're giving each other a lot of space in the corners. And then when you get on that straightaway, so you're on the corner, you're doing this, and on the straightaway, you kind of just get back into that staggered formation. So I like that they're doing this. Let's see what happens here, though. What happens? 'Cause they're chilling. Oh, once again, can't predict that. It was a deer. So good job. What do we got here? Nice little Cardo Pack Talk Edge. Love that. Grab yourself one. It's a Bluetooth system. Love it. Link in the description for 10% off. I listen to music. I listen to... that was just a random situation, but listen to music. Oh, road rage now. Music, my GPS on my phone. I have a phone mount. Rock form. Link in the description for that. All right, so lane filtering. Oh, we might have a new thumbnail here. All right. Tram tracks. Are we going to try to go over the tram tracks? There it is. Write in the comments why this person just fell. It's pretty easy. I just called it out, tram tracks. Let's go back a little bit. Let's see if we can get a good view. Let's see if we can get a good view. Not of her, the tram tracks, guys. Calm down. Tram tracks. All right, so you see this tram track right here. Just look at how it's designed. There's like a gap right there, right? There's a gap. Your front tire on your motorcycle, your tires on your motorcycle are a lot skinnier than car tires, right? A lot skinnier. And they're actually different. Car tires are flat on the bottom. Motorcycle tires are a little curved. They're like a little, I don't know what it's called, but still, it's curved on the bottom. So you have a little bit of a contact patch. And so you slowly move onto that tram track, and that little tiny contact patch gets into that little gap, and then it grabs it. The track grabs your little tire patch, and then when you're still trying to turn, it grabs it, and then you just lose balance. It grabs you, and it's not going where you want to go, and you lose balance. It's a lot like hitting gravel. It's a lot like hitting oil. It's just going to cause your front end to just bloop, fall down. Okay? So how do we prevent that? How do we prevent that? Because they're all over the place, right? So let's pretend. Thankfully, they do vertical because they like to do TikToks. Here's a tram track. Okay? Here's us, right? So if we slowly do what she did, boom, we get locked in. We got locked in on the tram track. But we want to get on this side, right? We want to get on this side of the tram track, or we want to get in the middle. We want to do something. We don't want to stay over here because that you saw earlier. There's that car, and so she's trying to move to a new position for safety, right? To get away from the car. So what do? Is that we're coming up. It's like, oh, there's a car up here where MotoStars is. There's a car. I want to get over here. This is where I want to go. So we're going. Hard shift. Not glide slowly so that we get perfectly in line and lock in. We want to do a hard shift over it. So it's a quick little swerve to get over it. Be aggressive with it. You don't want to get locked in. So that's what happened there. And if you're a guy, women, Moto Gaga, if you're still in here, I know you're not doing this, but women, motorcycle TikTokers, this isn't a good look. I get it. You're getting a certain clientele, certain kind of audience. This isn't a good look. Okay? Wear full gear. Okay, this might be a fun thing to do like for the first year, and then you start realizing how dangerous it is, and then you just kind of quit because it's like now you're moving on to like basket weaving or sourdough or something. But like you're getting a lot of attention because of this. Wear full gear. At minimum, zip that up. Because here's the thing. If you do fall down and you go chest first like she does, If it's not zipped up, especially if the zipper keeps going all the way down, it's going to rip it open. And then now you're getting abrasions all over your chest, your tatas. You're going to ruin those things, okay? With protective gear, motorcycle jackets, zip it all the way up. It's going to hold still because it has, this is a regular shirt. Motorcycle jackets have reinforced stitching and has really good YKK zippers, but still really good zippers. This right here, not reinforced stitched. This will get ripped off. Everything's going to get ripped off, including your tatas. Like, that's not good. And then you're not going to want to do this. And you should probably buy an expensive bike, or if it's their boyfriend's. I don't know. So you got very lucky. We need a thumbnail. That's how you deal with tram tracks. Smee. Skateboarder as a kid, I can attest that road rash on the boobies suck. Yeah. As a girl, road rash anywhere sucks, but man, I can't imagine.
What is he coming?
Yo.
Hey,
So road rage, we just try not to be a part of it. If you're in a group of friends that this kind of happens all the time and you enjoy it, cool, whatever. I don't enjoy it. I personally would not ride with my friends anymore if they're constantly creating issues. Or for some reason, whenever I hang out with my friends, bad things happen. Well, guess what? I think it might be my group. But we're gonna have fun watching this one. And that's another thing, is I don't want to be in an altercation. It doesn't mean I can't. I just choose not to. Because once again, a consequence. You knock somebody out on a street like this. We just saw a motorcycle accident. You knock somebody out. They hit the back of the head on the concrete, have a skull fracture, possibly have a brain bleed and die. And now you have a consequence of killing someone.
whoa! Oh!
Nice little
Oh my God!
intersection crash.
Dude.
So that vehicle that got hit,
I mean, considering what that looks like, that's
could have
not
been a
that bad.
motorcycle.
That's where it hit, right here.
So intersections dangerous for motorcycle riders. Same thing for car
Why
drivers.
did it hold up so good?
Because it's from 1990. Ah, nice. So thank you, Motostars, for putting that video out. Guys, grab a slice of pizza. We have 2 more videos to do on this live stream. We do this every week, except for last week. I took a time off. But every week we do a live stream where we go over this stuff. Write in the chat. Ask your questions. I like to chat with you guys in between videos. But with that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe. Don't be an idiot. That's pretty much it. Don't be an idiot. I swear it's like... common sense isn't common. Oh, I love that one, Shmi. And I know Henry Rollins. Iron doesn't lie, baby. 200 pounds is 200 pounds. Unnervingly polite, but capably violent. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Is that... Jordan Peterson said it. I'm going to paraphrase it, but that's everyone says that kind of, like, a lot of people that understand say that, is that, you know, being weak is not a good thing. It doesn't make you safe. Being weak does not make you safe. Being strong and capable of violence, but not using it, is what keeps you safe. Because when you have to use it, you're trying to, you have a better chance of keeping yourself safe. Because stuff happens. You got to be able to do it. Yeah, don't be unorthodox. Yeah. Almost everyone is capable of violence if pushed too far. Yeah, everyone's capable. That's the thing, is everyone's capable of violence, but how good are you? Just like everyone's capable of making an emergency swerve, right? Because it's just a matter of turning. But how good are you at emergency swerves? Have you trained for it? When the dangerous situation happens, are you trained for emergency acceleration, braking, or swerving? Have you been training that? Because if not, you're capable of it. You might do a little bit of it, but is it going to keep you safe? No. If you train, you're going to have a much better chance. And same thing for physical altercations. It's like everyone's capable of throwing a punch. but are you good at it? So that's one of the things, that's what I want, kind of part of the academy idea that I had earlier, is that, you know, with the PT portion of the academy, is like, well, everyone's capable of running, or everyone's capable of having some strength to like get them out of a situation, but if you're forced to run 3 miles and then handle an emergency situation, could you? You probably could, but are you going to get there quick? Are you going to get there and still have strength and energy to handle the emergency situation? And that's what a lot of the firefighting PT was. It's like, hey, we're going to bust your butt, but then this isn't it. Like, we're going to work you out, and then you're going to have to go lift hose and do all this other stuff. So can you do it once you finally get exhausted? So that's kind of what I want to do for the academy, is like really dive in and focus on these emergency maneuvers, how to rescue somebody, the physical fitness. It's like, now you are ready when you're out riding and somebody crashes. Can you climb down that hill and still have energy, and then do the work you need to do to save your friend's life, and then extricate yourself to get out of that situation so you don't become a victim too? So there's all that. All right, so we're going to start this one. We're going to start this. I want to eat some pizza. Sounds so good. I have some packages to deliver. I might go and grab a slice of pizza from QT. That's another thing, is like part of the academy is I want to get you guys at least walking 10,000 steps. Anybody here at least walking 10,000 steps a day? Anybody here keep track of that? Yeah, exactly, Staromel. Physical violence is always very risky for everyone involved. And that's the thing, is like, you should be capable of it, but even if you participate in it and you're very capable of it, it's still, the consequences of the actual now violent interaction is just not good for anybody. So it should only be used to protect yourself and others. It shouldn't be used to intimidate and create problems like a lot of this road rage is doing, right? So being able to is very important. And taking it seriously. Because once you get into this situation, you're like, I feel like I should do some physical violence to this person. And then you realize, well, there's other options I can use first. You don't have to go straight to it. So that's another thing, is like learning verbal judo. Anybody understand verbal judo? Anybody understand at least just walking away? A lot of pride and ego gets in the way. So being comfortable in your own skin and being able to walk away and still feel proud of yourself because you know you could have hurt that person, versus walking away from a situation knowing full well that you're about to get your ass beat because you don't know how to fight. So you walk away, now you feel shame and guilt because you're kind of like, you feel like a loser. There's a difference between walking away knowing that, oh, I would have beaten that, like, this guy would have been messed up if I continued. So I'm actually proud of myself for not messing this guy up. You know what I mean? So you only get that if you know how to do it. So usually the people that know how to fight don't feel any shame whatsoever for walking away. Yeah, if you get too far into it, you might not be able to turn away. So that's why it's very important to remain calm, right? Because if you're in an emotional state, before you know it, you might not be able to turn away. So remaining calm, thinking, and then be like, oh, I should probably leave. That's when you're able to. And that's the rescue stuff. The RE, like I said, it works for tons of different situations. Remain calm and ensure your own safety. Get in an argument with somebody, like a stranger, remain calm, or if somebody comes at you angrily, remain calm, ensure your own safety. If after a motorcycle crash, remain calm, ensure your own safety. You see somebody pulling out in front of you, remain calm, ensure your own safety, start navigating that hazard. Remain calm. Like, that's a big thing. How do you remain calm in a situation that is highly emotional? What typically puts you into an emotional state is when you're not trained for that. When you don't know what's happening, there's fear now overriding your thinking brain. But if you know that you can handle the fear because you've done the training, because you've put yourself through a fear state in training, oh, it's not so scary. It still is, but I know what to do. And that's in firefighting. I get questions, or I get comments, not really questions, but I get comments all the time. It's like, I can't imagine what it's like to go into a burning building. I can't imagine. Like, that's so scary. That's so dangerous. Like, you're going inside a building that is 3 to 4 times hotter than the hottest setting on an oven. It gets up to like 1,800 degrees easily, 2,000, 2,200 degrees inside of a house on fire, and firefighters walk in. And so people are like, how do you do that? We train. We train for it. We've done it a couple dozen times in training. We trust our equipment. We trust our training. We have guys. I trust my guys. Like, it's hot. Yeah, it's hot. But we know what happens. Like, if something happens, like a roof collapse or run out of air in our SCBAs, or we run out of water because of something collapsed the water supply, or we get trapped, like, we know what to do. We bring our tools in. Like, yeah, we train for it. It's dangerous. We take a calculated risk, but we know what to do. So, like, any normal person walking in, they would have a fear reaction and get paralyzed, and then that gets them in danger. Same thing for violence. That same thing for motorcycle close calls and crashes. Same thing for any situation, is if you can remain calm if you trained for it. That's the thing. And trust. There's a lot of trust. Trust in your training. So you can do like a week of training, and you're like, I'm ready to get in fights, and it's like, no. When it comes down to it, you're gonna be like, oh man, I should have trained more. So it's just exactly, training in anything helps to conquer fear and panic. And training practice, you kind of put 2 and 2 together. So yeah, having healthy conflict in relationships, and treating it like it's a training versus me versus you, that helps out because now you're working as one. When it comes to motorcycle riding, training in the parking lot, or even while you're riding, that's part of what I'm teaching in 2026 with that new video series, is that I'm going to teach you in, let's bring it back up. We're having, I missed you guys last week, so I want to share as much as I possibly can. Thank you guys for staying with me. So here in the video series, let's bring this down. In the video series, so right here, okay, let's go to one that makes a little bit more sense for you guys. So to make it a little bit easier, let's go to plan. Okay, so month 3, road readiness, optional cones, right? We'll do plan. So this is the lesson. So this is me instructing and saying, hey, this is what we should do when it comes to positioning. Cool. The challenge, and I'm going to update these. The challenge is now, I want you to go out and ride, and I want you to find 3 moments you improved lane position for visibility. So I want you to actually go out and ride, and then, oh, I moved over here, so now I have a better line of sight. Okay? So this is the instruction. This is, hey, I want you to go out and do this. And then this is me actually doing it and showing you. So you don't have to stay in a parking lot or in a classroom to learn this. You can actually, see you later, Maimoto. You can actually ride around and practice it while you're riding. So every single time, like, I'm going to ride at the gas station. Well, I'm going to practice positioning today. Okay, I'm going to ride to the gas station. I'm going to practice locating today. I'm going to go ride to the gas station or go to the supermarket or whatever, and I'm going to practice braking today. I'm going to practice swerving today. And there's ways to do that while you're already on the road, and that's part of the drill, or part of the lessons that I'm going to be doing in 2026. And then we're going to go ahead and do the Smart Rider drill, the snake in this one. And the whole point of that is now we're doing an actual exercise in the parking lot and doing that fun stuff. But this is classroom instruction. Here's your homework. Here's me doing the homework to show you how I do it. And then here's something that I want you to do with me, because we're going to practice for the Smart Rider games. So that's the whole idea of it. And I want to teach you guys how to practice in multiple different scenarios situations. So there's a way to practice in a parking lot like the MSF does. There's a way now for me to show you, there's a way to practice every single time you ride. And then we're going to go to the parking lot and have some fun. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be starting filming all those. It's a 21 video series. I'm going to start filming that as soon as possible, but my goal is starting in January, releasing in March. Starting to release in March. For 21 weeks, it's a video series. All right, so we're going to jump into this one. Guys, grab yourself a slice of pizza. We're going to get into this. So 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, this is a MotoStars video. My name is DanDanTheFireman. Real quick before we jump into this, a little background history if you're brand new to the channel is that I was an MSF rider coach. I was a firefighter for 11 years, so International Association of Professional Drivers, MSF rider coach, lots of different classes, lots of different things, and I'm trying to grab all that information that I have had over the years, and I developed the plan method, and we go over crashes and close calls, and we go over the plan method because this right here will keep you safe as a brand new rider. And I can't wait for the Smart Rider Training Manual to come out so I can teach you guys how to ride. Just hit subscribe so you guys can see that. But let's go over some crashes and close calls and see what we could have done differently and what they did right so we don't make the same mistakes ourselves when we're out riding, okay? Here we go.
Hello everyone, today we will start by looking at
Hello.
more dangerous
Oh,
sides
Bike
of
is Life on the
speeding.
Kentish roads. I've
The
seen him a few
driver
times.
signaled
So
to
this is
light
lane
and to
splitting.
properly time this rider right
Open lane pattern incoming. Yeah. Oh, did you watch this before, Unorthodox? So we're chatting today. This is a live stream. It's a live class. Everyone's eating pizza. And we have the chat coming on. And he was mentioning an open lane pattern. So what is an open lane pattern? That's something that we talk about here. We have open lane patterns, side of the vehicle patterns, right? So these are things that we typically pick up on as humans. We have mirror neurons. We're the most amazing pattern recognition species in the world. And we tend to see things before we actually think about what it is. So the whole point of the open lane pattern is this right here. This is a good one right here. Is that we have a bunch of vehicles stacked up, right? We have vehicle here, vehicle here, vehicle here, and it just keeps going, right? We have a big open lane right here. Okay, so open lane pattern, if you see this, let's go ahead and delete all this stuff. If you see this in your vision when you're riding or driving, we're in this lane, let's pretend we're all the way in this lane. We see this, we can assume somebody from the right lane wants to come into our lane because they don't want to be stuck behind a bunch of people. You do this all the time naturally. You do your head checks, you check your mirrors, you check your blind spots, whatever, and you switch lanes. You put on your indicator and switch lanes. You do that typically when you're driving or riding, right? We can't assume everyone's going to do that. If you do it, doesn't mean everyone's doing it. Okay? So people are just going to switch out real quick in front of you. Okay? So watch out for this. And so as this position for safety, this is a great video right here. Position for safety, we're all the way on the far right of this lane. This is a hazardous situation. We're assessing if anybody's a threat. They're not a threat until they start going into our lane. So we don't have to navigate it right away, navigating into a new position. So we have to start off in a good position for safety. If we're riding motorcycles, a position for safety is a good space cushion, good line of sight, and you have one escape path. So a space cushion is all this space, but we have a very small one to the right. So what I would do if I saw this, if I'm riding and I saw this, I would move myself over here. This is where I'd be. Not to the right, I'd be off to the left. Now, why would I do that? Well, I have good line of sight ahead of me. So you notice how he's all the way on the far right. And you can see super far down. It's because he's lane splitting, but you can see super far down. That's a really good line of sight. So you can see ahead really far. So you can make choices based on what's happening way ahead versus what's like right in front of you because you can't see. Now, you also want an escape path. Well, this is an escape path too. That's an escape path. But if I was over here on the left, I had that same line of sight going this way. I have a big space cushion from all these vehicles, and I have an escape path on the shoulder to completely get away. So when I talk about position for safety, this is where I'd want to be if I saw this. Does that make sense? Because when somebody does pull out, they're going to pull out from the left to the right. So you're lane splitting. You notice how there's no open lanes right here? So there's no real opportunities for cars to switch over. So this is relatively safe considering. It's still high risk, but it's relatively safe considering because there's no reason for another car to switch over and hit another car. They're not going to want to do that. It still can happen, but they're not going to want to do it. But when they see like this gap right here, that's an opportunity to the go left, right? So I'd slow it down. I'd be a little concerned. And then right here, big gap, they switch over. So we have three things we can do in an emergency situation. Emergency brake, emergency swerve, emergency accelerate. If we emergency accelerate, we're going to run into them quicker. We emergency swerve to the right, we're going to hit this semi. Emergency swerve to the left, there's a car in front of this car, so we have to swerve really far left to get over here on that shoulder, okay? Emergency braking. So emergency braking, we need to have enough total stopping distance. And what that means is that we see it, we reach for it, and we start applying. And then once we start applying, how long does it take us to actually stop? That's total stopping distance. There's not a lot of total stopping distance here. There's not a lot here. So the best we can hope for is a hard swerve to the left or applying the brakes really well progressively as much as we can. We're not going to stop in time, but hopefully we slow down enough so that that vehicle finally makes it over and then we can continue on. High risk, right? But that's why I always watch for big gaps. And there's a gap here too. Because this, if I see these gaps, I'm slowing down. I'm prepping for emergency brake. I'm prepping for emergency swerve. I'm prepping already. And there's the impact. There's not much you could have done. That's why it's high risk to lane split or lane filter. And that's why you want to go slower than you think you need to. Because if everyone is stopped and you're going 10 miles an hour, that's pretty simple. It's easy to brake, easy to swerve. At 10, you're still going 10 miles an hour faster than you normally would have if you stayed in line. I'm good with that. Wear full gear just in case you get the road rash. It sucks. It's a good lesson for us. We spent a little bit of time on the first video, and we're going to move on to some of the next ones pretty quickly. I wanted to get the lesson out to you. So making a U-turn like that or blaming the rider. Okay, let's see what happens.
Signal, I need to cut across 8 lane. None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
Oh, yeah, definitely the car driver's fault. Really dumb of the car driver. Not much you could have done there. He's got an airbag vest. Hey, it inflated. That's an Alpine Stars airbag vest. That's pretty cool. You see how it's all big? It's really good. All right, so what happened here? Okay, so we're going to the first available lane. That would help out, but this is typical. We're moving here. We can't anticipate they're doing this. I think he just turned on the blinker right now, last second. Now, we can always jump into, well, you know, the car driver should have switched lanes and then got into this lane and then turned left, went through a parking lot, then turned right and did that. Because that's the legal thing, right? That's the legal thing. Didn't do it. So we can't trust people. So as soon as we see this, we're talking about plan. We're in a good position for safety. We start, oh, what's that? Guy's turning left. So is it a relevant threat? Yeah, he's turning into an active threat because he's turning into my lane. We're going 32 miles an hour. Apply the brakes. Emergency braking. So we swerved into where they were going. I would have applied the brakes. That's why we're trying to learn from here. I'm armchair quarterback in this, but that's the thing is brakes and swerves. You have to pick. But there's the impact. And there's the head that impacted. So let's say I failed it too. Let's say I failed and I got into a crash. This right here is why you wear a full face helmet. This is why you wear full gear. Because sometimes crap just happens. Should the car driver have done that? No, absolutely not. Too many people with main character syndrome. Oh, make that left-handed turn. New rider. That was a really bad turn. All right. New rider with some gear, at least. Oh, so he's checking his pelvis. I'm going to point out. I want you guys to see this last part right before it switches. Watch where he grabs. Right there. See how he grabs? Grabbing that. So that's called guarding. You know, if somebody punches you in the arm, you're like, ow. You naturally reach for it because you had pain. He's got pain there. So when I said new rider, why don't you take a look? Look how wide this turn is. Barely, he went from 30 to 21, like 30 something to 21. One thing I noticed with brand new riders is that it's easy to give it throttle. One of the hardest things that I've seen with riders is turning and braking. Okay, throttle's easy. With throttle, everyone seems to get that. First, they're a little bit scared. Some people are not. They just go. But it seems like everybody is scared to apply the brakes and to turn. That's the scary part. And so when I saw this rider, watch him go wide. Why did we go wide? It's because before the intersection, we weren't slowing down to make the turn. We were just rolling off the throttle and coasting through the turn. I need you guys to start practicing your braking. Brake before the turn, go through the turn, and then if you need to, you can give it a little bit more throttle. But if you're in the middle of the turn and you're going too fast, now you're having to brake and turn. That's going to be hard for a new rider. So learn to brake before the turn and make the turn. Now, it really kind of came full circle is that he's scared of braking, because when we get to this situation, where's the braking? There's no braking. And here's the thing is, like, if you go into motorcycle riding onto the street with only the skill of turning and acceleration, but not good braking, I don't know why I did that, but not good braking, there's going to be situations where you need to be braking. So now you don't have the skill set to be braking. And this is going to happen. So you need to learn how to turn and accelerate and brake. Those are the three things on a motorcycle you can do. You need to learn how to brake. So practice in a parking lot. I got a video series coming out hopefully soon for you guys, but it's in part of the Smart Rider Training Manual. We go over emergency braking. We go over regular braking. We go over the testing that you're going to have to do for the braking. We're going to do all that stuff. But this is a brand new rider that doesn't know how to brake, but is riding on the road. And the whole guarding thing on the pelvis, if you really want to, look up traumatic open book fracture of the pelvis on Google. Safe search off. And the reason why he's having pelvic pain is because once he slammed into the car, he slid up on the gas tank and hit his pelvis really hard on the gas tank. All right, going 100.
I wasn't sure whether it was the front or rear wheel that slipped or if he had just
lost of traction.
He stressed that thanks to wearing proper motorcycle gear, he walked away without
So sharp turn, you see the chevrons. Okay, so we low-sided. Can't really tell outside. I mean, the road seemed pretty clear. Just leaned really far down. Full gear leathers. He's got a jacket over his leathers. All right, moving on. 118, 120. What's that? 120 kilometers an hour. That is 75. We're going 75. That's really fast for a road like this. 140, 87 miles per hour. Unless this bike is not. Oh, that's way too fast for that area. Ooh, got very lucky. Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. You're not going to ride that bike. It lost all air. That thing is done. Rim and tire. So I want to point that out, though. Look what he hit. He just hit the guardrail with his front tire. I bet his right foot. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to point out, is that if that guardrail can do that to metal, imagine what it can do to your flesh. So that's why it's really important not to be going super duper fast in an area like this, with a road like this. Because then when this happens, it's not just your bike that can get tore up, it can be your flesh. Oh, please wear gear. So sharp right turn, you see the turn arrow? Okay. Oh, what's around the corner? It's a blind corner. So what do? Please swerve out of the way. Good. Get back in your lane. Okay, wear gear, please. And right there, look at the other sign. We have another caution sign saying, hey, we have some sharp turns ahead. That should give you an idea. Hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing some stupid stuff. And you see that he's got a phone mount. I use rock form, so link in the description for 20% off. I love this thing. It's a magnet. And then also it locks in on the back, like on your valve stem or on your motorcycle. But if you see right there, it says 8 or 0.7 miles a left turn. So that's really good. It chats with your Cardo. Link in the description for 10% off. A little Bluetooth system. I love that because it lets me know like what's coming up. All right, here we go. We have a turn, same thing. Oh, did we hit a rock? There's a lot of noise now. Okay, real quick. See how hard that was to see? So if you're riding out in the mountains, like all the shadows and how it's like all weird, it's basically camouflaging a lot of road surface hazards. When you're out riding the mountains and you have like rock, like sides like this is typical. This happens. You got to be very careful. Happens on Mount Lemmon all the time. A lot of motorcyclists crash because of it. So if you're coming around the mountains, go at a speed that is relaxing. Okay, I like to say that, relaxing. A lot of people have different terms for that. To them, going 100 is relaxing. To me, relaxing is looking at the scenery and having a good time when it comes to that. Because when you're going a little bit slower, you're able to kind of go and navigate around it. He didn't see it until he hit it. Now, if he hit this and you're like, oh crap, you hear it, it's kind of weird. Instead of speeding off, park it and take a look at your bike. Take a look at your bike. Because you could have damaged it.
Here we have a pretty dangerous situation where the rider coming from
Did we not just go through a dangerous situation? There's more?
the opposite direction ignored the double yellow line and decided to overtake.
If I was this that was within like 30 seconds. If I was this motorcycle rider, I would have taken this as I'm gonna go home. I just hit a bunch of rocks. Somebody almost ran straight into me. Today is just gonna not be the day I'm gonna ride. I'm just gonna go to the pool. I'm gonna have a beer and go to the pool. I'll ride another day. Oh, probably copyrighted music, so we're gonna do this. And there's a nice little crash. Okay, so speeding. Oh, we hit. What did we hit? Is there a hydrant that? I don't see a hydrant. There's definitely water runoff, but it's in the middle of a turn. So he lost traction right there. See, that's what the rear tire looks like when it loses traction. We probably did the same thing and we went wide. And there's the impact. Yep, it happened to us too. Oh my gosh. I need a thumbnail. Yeah, not much you could have done with that. Other than don't be speeding and racing. Because you don't know what the road surface hazards could look like. Oh my gosh. So how do we oh, we got like tons of people crashing. We have to hopefully rescue them. Hopefully nobody's having major bleeds. I had to mute it. Yep, there's the ambulance. There's a C-collar. Lots of patients. That's a mass MPI, mass patient incident. You call them MCIs, mass casualty incidents, but you're gonna need a lot of resources on scene to help out with that because that's a lot of patients, a lot of high mechanism there. At least they had full gear, yeah. All right, here we go.
I hear that too, like whenever you speak.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I see exactly what it is. I can see what it is. All right, be careful.
His helmet strap.
Yo.
Side of the vehicle.
You're good.
Ooh.
That was a close call. Wow. What the fuck are you doing? Well, there's your first close call, buddy.
All right, so let's go back. Cardo. I love the fact that they have a Cardo. So what you can do with the Cardo. So this is probably what they're using. They're using the Cardo Pack Talk Edge Duo. You go halvesies with a friend. You can talk to each other and see how they're talking to each other. But one of the cool things that I found out a while ago, they updated their app a long time ago, is that you can record your conversation through the app. And it's got some pretty good quality. I don't know if they're using the edges themselves. I think they are. But you can record your conversations. So it's kind of cool. You can have like a motorcycle podcast. You can record your conversations and talk to each other. So what he's saying is that he can hear his strap. He's got his helmet strap and it's loose and it's just smacking, doing this. So that's what he can hear.
I hear that too, like whenever you speak.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I see exactly what it is. I can see.
Yeah, so his strap is,
what
yeah.
it is. All right, be careful.
So that's the cool, and so right here, he's like, got to be careful because the guy in the back sees the side of the vehicle, and that's a pattern that we talk about. So that's the side of the vehicle. What that indicates is that we're coming into an intersection, because if you're just doing this, you only see the backs of the vehicles, right? Or the front of the vehicles on oncoming traffic. But if you see the side of the vehicle, that means there's an intersection. So when you see the side of the vehicle and somebody's kind of waiting there, are they going to come out? Hey, at least I know that's an intersection, right? So he's telling him, hey, be careful. So very good, Pure Flight. So he's telling him to be careful because that guy is probably starting to get distracted from the conversations. Oh, I got to do my strap. So if you're in a situation, though, like the first guy where your strap, you didn't strap it in, pull off, take your gloves off, put the strap on, put your gloves back on, go. Don't try to do it while you're riding, especially in an area like this. I wouldn't even do it while I was riding, even if it's clear of traffic. And then just kind of keep chatting with each other.
Cool.
And then what happens here is he sees it last second. That's a panic rear brake. That's smashing that rear brake because it locks up that rear tire. And now he's starting to fishtail. So if you feel this, like you do it, right? You do that too much rear brake and you get to this point, release it. Release it. Because what's happening is that you're pushing down so hard, it locks the tire. Once you release it, it starts rolling. And when it starts rolling, it wants to get back in line. So you're going to feel a little bit of a jerk when you release it, but it got back in line. Now you have control again. Now apply front and rear brake progressively using progressive brake pressure. So good job on him because he's going to release it. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit. Watch him release it.
Careful. Yo.
So it's on.
You're good.
Oh, he never did. Oh, because he used his front.
Call.
So he did release the rear brake,
Wow.
but he was using his front to stop.
What the fuck are you doing?
I was looking at the brake light. It never went off. But good job. Fix your helmet strap. Because imagine you didn't have your helmet strap and you hit the side of the vehicle and your helmet flies off. And I listen to music on when I ride. I do. But I have my GPS going and I can hear it through the Cardo and then my phone mount. It's relaxing. I use earplugs. I always do that. I always wear earplugs. All right, nighttime riding, look at where your headlights go. That's as far as you can see. That's as far as you can react from. You can't see anything past it, so you can't react to anything past your headlights. So what that means is you should probably take it a little bit slower. But I love having the GPS. That's great. See how you couldn't react? Can't see anything, can't see anything. Now you see something. As a new student, bikes don't have ABS for those cases. A lot of the newer bikes do have ABS, but you want to get to the point with your braking skill that you don't activate ABS. ABS is only activated if you squeeze the brakes, or you put in a car, push the brakes so hard that it now kicks in. And what it does, instead of locking the tire, it locks it up, releases, locks it up, releases, locks it up, releases, locks it up, releases, locks it up, releases. That's what ABS does. With progressive braking, you're slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. It never locks and does that. So new bikes do have ABS, but remember, you're balancing on 2 tires versus 4 tires on a car. So activating your ABS in a car, you're not gonna like fall over, right? But on a bike, you might start, oh crap, and then fall over still. It's a safety net. If you're a trapeze artist, it's good to have a safety net, right? So, but you want to have so much skill that you don't ever need the safety net. You want to have so much skill with braking that you don't need to activate ABS. But if for some reason something happens and your skill fails, hopefully the safety net or ABS will catch it. So you want to get to a point where you don't need ABS, but you really want to have it, if that makes sense.
Here it's worth noting that Driver didn't panic despite a fairly serious malfunction, which helped him
Oh, it's clip on.
with serious consequences.
Okay, don't panic. Roll off the throttle, because you don't really have one at this point. Very good. Handled it. Nice little camera angle. Very cool. We lost our chain. How come we don't have no power? Okay, once that happens, you're out. It's basically, when that happens, when the chain falls off, think of it this way. And you're not going to know the chain fell off. The chain falls off. So chain's gone. So in essence, what's really happening is just like if you're riding and you're giving it throttle, but you have your clutch pulled in. You can give it all you want. No power is getting to that rear wheel. So he doesn't have the clutch in. He lost his chain or his belt, right? So he's giving power, but there's no belt drive, chain drive moving the tire. So as much as you want, it's not going to put power to the rear wheel. So no matter what happens in this situation, you know you're coasting. You're just going to coast. Hopefully that's all it is, because he doesn't know it's the chain. It could have been his tire. It could have been something. It could have been a full-on mechanical issue. Roll, get towards the shoulder, start downshifting, using engine braking, maybe a little bit of brakes. You don't know exactly what's going on. Just get yourself to a slow enough speed so that if something does happen and you do crash, you're crashing at 10 miles an hour versus 60. Like, your goal is to slow down as much as you can, as quick as you can, hold it straight, get to the shoulder so nobody hits you. Yeah, that sucks. So right now he doesn't know why. So at this point, if you're like you've tried to shift and you're like, I don't know why I don't have any I have no power. I need to pull off. I need to pull off. All right, what do we got here? Nighttime riding. Can't see much. Somebody kind of cuts in our lane. People do that all the time. It is what it is. Space cushion. I want to point out space cushion. This is a great view here. So when it comes to planning a ride, we want to have a good space cushion, line of sight, and escape path. Space cushion, for me, it really depends on what I can see and then what I can brake for total stopping distance, and then possibly where I could swerve. Do I have enough room to swerve? Do I have enough time to brake? And can I see? That's really kind of where I judge, am I in a safe place? And right here, when you're right in the middle of the lane and you have a big truck in front of you and you have a very short distance, you can't see around this truck very well. And I don't like that. That means I'm riding in this. If I can see way ahead, that means I'm riding in this. Does that make sense? Because you can react off of something up here versus having to react basically off of this. And I can't see anything. And it's the same concept as this. If you're this close to somebody, you see how you can't see around me? But if you start pulling away and getting further away from somebody, you see how you can see around them? See how you can see around them? And that's the same concept. That's the same concept. The closer you are, the bigger they get. The bigger they get, they take up more of your vision. I don't want to be that close. So just like an unorthodox said, if we're going 45, we're both going 45 here. If we roll off to like 35, 40, they're going to continue going 45. We're going to slowly separate. And then once I get into the distance I like, I get back to 45, and now we're doing 45 like this versus 45 like this. Roll off, roll off. Now we're doing 45. That's what I would do. Because you see how hard he had to brake? Because all of a sudden, quick brakes for that truck. If you had a big space cushion, you would have just seen him go and make that left. What do we got here? Okay. Got a little close. They weren't paying attention. Okay. Yeah, they got a little close. They saw it. Thankfully, nothing happened. It was a close call. Nothing you could have done about it. Oh, lots of passengers. 1 second. Who's the boyfriend in this one? Oh, boy. That's how you get beat up. But just move on. Just move on. It's crossing the tram tracks pretty well. Yeah, just move on. They're talking to each other in the cardos.
Alles okay bei dir?
Nein, warum?
Warum kickst du denn aufs Motorrad?
So, mein Kopf macht so. Ich bin
Dein
so.
Kopf macht so.
Schizo.
Ich bin so. Ist Problem oder was?
Aber auf Motorrad.
Schizophrenic. He's got a mental illness.
Du hast nicht was rum.
So this is why I don't deal with it, because he could have a knife and just, if he's gonna be acting that erratic with kicking a motorcycle, you don't think he's gonna be like going nuts and then maybe stab you? It's not worth it.
Ja, der ist deppert.
All right, what do we got here? Nice camera angle. Oh, 360. Oh, somebody crashed. Somebody crashed. What do we do? What do we do? He's walking. That's good. Barely. Not good. Nice U-turn. Real quick, though, if you guys want to practice, I forgot to even say this earlier, but if you want to practice your U-turns, I do have a book. So it's Slow Speed Maneuvers. It's called the Smart Rider Motorcycle Training Drills. It comes with a phone-friendly version that if you get the physical book, you get the phone-friendly version for free. There's also just the phone-friendly version, so you can just get that. It's in the shop. But anyways, what's inside? Bunch of different designs. 24 drills. You only need 10 cones or 5 tennis balls cut in half. I show you how to do it. You can scan the QR code. It'll take you to a video. And then same thing when it comes to the digital version. Is like, how am I going to scan the QR code? Well, you can just click it right there, and it'll take you to the video. So I can show you how to do it. You can practice your slow speed maneuvers, because he did a really good U-turn right here. And you want to be able to do a U-turn within 20 feet, because typically these roads are about 20 to 24 feet wide. You don't want a three-point turn this. You want to do a quick, nice little U-turn. Quick little U-turn. See how, yeah, you want to be able to make that U-turn. So practice it. Links in the description. I sell it with cones.
Gravel through here. Is that what got you?
I got cones, but a physical book and a digital book.
Okay.
If you get the physical stuff, you automatically get a digital book too. Nice. Helping them out. Love that.
All right.
All right, moving on. Streets to peaks. Here we go. Having some fun. See, this would be great. Like, imagine, like, you don't have to go fast to enjoy this. Treat this just like the asphalt road. Try not to crash, but just cruise. Enjoy the fact that you're on 2 wheels. You know, this happens. You know, it happens. probably went a little too slow, hit a rut, fell over. Understand how to protect yourself. Understand how to pick up the bike. It's protecting the bike with the crash guards. You know, does everything work still? You have frame sliders coming? Nice.
Hey, I like your bike.
Get away from me.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I like your bike.
Oh, I appreciate
You
that.
succubus.
You're welcome.
Get away.
You right through here often?
Yeah, I'm a local.
I know what you're trying to do.
Me too.
Really? That's what's up?
Nope.
Yeah. I guess that means the next time I bump into you, you're kind of obligated to give me a ride.
Nope. Get away.
I don't know.
Demon.
Actually.
Why, do you have like a girlfriend or something?
No, it's not really that. It's just, you know.
It's just, what, am I not hot
Nope.
enough for you?
This is a skit, but
No, but I wouldn't necessarily say you're like my taste.
I'm not your taste.
Yeah, like, I'm not really looking for anything.
If that's the case, taste.
yeah, it's a skit. Equal rights and equal lefts. If somebody did that, that's assault. Actually, that's battery. Assault is a threat of violence with words. Battery is actually physically doing that. So I'm going to defend myself. It's a terrible skit too, because you're gonna get slushy in your gas tank. Yeah. No, like if somebody ever comes up, if a woman comes up to me
It's just, what, am I not hot enough for you?
and she's acting like that, get away from me, demon woman.
Taste?
Yeah, like, yo.
What?
Do I fuck?
Get a loser.
Oh my gosh, what are you doing, bro? My gas tank. Are you f***ing serious, bro?
Well, it's not good that you're putting diesel in there. Slow speed maneuvers. What, he's gonna go over this?
Well, this is a shortcut.
I wouldn't do that.
Whoa!
Got scared. It's a little drop off, dude. It's just a tiny drop off. So he slammed the front brake. So he had to layer down. So this is a dual sport version of had to layer down. Okay. So we're coming up to here. That's a crest of the, so we can pretend. Let's pretend this is a road. So this is what's called a crest of the hill. You see how it looks like it keeps going, but it's a hill. You know it's a hill, right? And then when you finally get closer to the top, you see, oh, crap. So if we're on a road and there's a crest of the hill, like you can't, it just kind of, the road disappears. You don't know if it swerves left or swerves right. So go over the crest of the hill nice and easy. And then when you can see, then you can make decisions. But if you're hauling booty over it and then it turns left hard, you're not prepped for the turn, so you tend to panic with the brakes, right? Or you freeze. Here, same thing. He sees this, panics. Well, when in doubt, for off-roading sometimes, or for most of the time, when in doubt, throttle out. So here, I would have just given it some gas.
Whoa!
Yeah. You know, I didn't grow up off-roading, so when in doubt, throttle out. I had to learn as an adult, but I remember just a little fun thing. We're about to finish the video here. I used to play a lot of soccer as a kid, and one of my coaches would tell me, because I played defense and also offense and halfback and everything. He would tell me, when in doubt, kick it out. Like if you feel like you're getting stuck and you're like the only defender and everyone else is screwing off, like, and you're next to and you're about to defend, don't try to take the ball from the person, or don't try to like dribble it past. When in doubt, just kick the ball out of bounds, and it resets everybody. You know what I mean? So when in doubt, reset. When in doubt, reset. When in doubt, throttle out on this one. I don't know. Anyways, short story. With that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and we have one more on the live stream to watch, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys later. All right. Yeah, he was like nervous with that. I wanted this last one to be like a Like, look at that parking lot. That's a great parking lot to do the Smart Rider drills in.
Bro.
It's like, look at this parking lot. I thought he was going to do a U-turn. And be like, hey, you could practice your U-turns if you do the Smart Rider drills. But no, he did this.
Well, this is a shortcut.
I got my blinds right here. It's the perfect time of day where the light's shining on me. Do you guys ever... Are you guys old enough to know, or long-time subscribers to know the Saturday Scramblers? You guys remember the Saturday Scramblers? Let's see if I can find. That was before your time, Smee. I used to make a video every Saturday for like a while of me riding off-road with my Harley. I had the drone, had all this other fun stuff. And then I would create like teaser videos like on a Wednesday of like, hey, this is what's coming out Saturday. This was Thanksgiving. When was this? 8 years ago. November 22nd, 2016. So, a long time ago, almost 9 years ago. That's me right there. Part of the fun of riding off-road is crashing, right?
Get over this real quick.
This is a Harley Sportster. Back in the day. I have another one where I crashed. It's 9 minutes though. I don't. Yeah, who put the bush in the way? Let me see if I can find the crash. Oh, I always put it at the beginning. Yeah, no glove. I think I remember this one where it was just getting so hot. I was off road. It was all sand. But imagine doing this soft sand on a Sportster. Yeah, it was like getting really hot. Look at that. Look at that baby face. How old is this? January 17th, 2017. So this is right before I moved to Tucson. Yeah, so I did have gear. I remember where this was at. I was like going towards Mexico. I used to put music, all cinematic.
Mexico's on the other side of this mountain.
Yeah, I used to.
I wonder if I'm even allowed to be right here. Never been here before.
That's what I was doing on the Sportster. And I got stuck. I remember this one. It was like super soft.
I need to get out of here. I'm starting to sweat like a pig. Look at that. Oh, shit. This is hard with two people, let alone one. Like, I'm stuck. I've got to dig myself out. I've done this plenty of times with trucks. To be honest, it's the first time with a bike. I'm buried to my belt, guys. That's not good. I can't have that. So let's try one more time going forward. Fuck. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Stay there. See, now this, there you go. All those years of weightlifting and powerlifting. Okay. Whew. Let's try this.
It was hot. I mean, it was January, but it's still hot. This is Yuma.
Okay. You know what? I'll come back for that gear. Let me get turned around first, because I don't want to put it all on, get stuck, and have to do that all again.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna turn around, and then
see, there's a trail right there. See, if I could just get through all this stuff, I could find more things. But man, my bike is not made for this. It is not made for this, and I know that's to Mexico. I just don't want to go that way. I don't want to go that way. I have to go the same way to be sure. This is what sucks. It sucks. Okay, there's the road. Whew, I lost the road for a second.
So I used to do stuff like this before the safety stuff.
Oh.
So I've lived a life.
I want to go home. My battery's almost dead on everything. My GoPros, my drone. I use 2 batteries, just having fun, taking pictures and stuff. Okay. So right here.
When in doubt, throttle out. Come on, Daniel.
Is where I dropped the bike. God. Skip. Oh, today is not a good day.
I was getting tired.
It's like so soft out of nowhere. I had some paint drippage. It's one of those days, guys, the start of the new year. I'm like, I want to do something different. I want to go sightseeing, you know? I want to go someplace I don't know where I'm at, and I want to, like, you know, be an idiot.
It's fun to watch myself when I was younger.
That's sketchy in itself, having my bike lean like that. I gotta get out of here. Oh my gosh. Whatever, the bike.
'Cause I knew I wasn't gonna be able to stop on the hill, so I had to.
I'm tired with this helmet. It's all strapped against my neck, trying to brief.
I had to just like gun it and get out of here.
Okay. Ah! Let's do it. Oh, fuck. Oh, there we are. Oh, I should have known better. I
used to do a lot of stupid stuff. So if you want I think I have the playlist. Let's see. Do I have the playlist? Or did I delete the playlist? No, I got the playlist still. I'll go ahead and I'll get you guys the playlist. Yeah, I never got rid of it. Nice. How many videos? There's a bunch. I have a bunch of videos. There we go. That's the playlist. I did 34 of them. So, I mean, the first ones are on the bottom. There's another crash. No, I'm going off. I'm just doing stupid stuff. There's a lot of cool ones. I found an abandoned train station. Abandoned factory. I don't know. And I stopped doing it back in the, like, I did it when I moved here, but then I stopped because I had to focus on firefighting. So they're not in order. I could probably redo them so they're in order. But they can't, they're in order of when they were published. All right. So let's do, we have one more video. We lost a few people. We lost about 20 of you guys. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Some of the music I think got deleted because I was using copyrighted music back in the day. I mean, it was like 9 years ago. But anyways, here we go. We're gonna jump into this one. Well, thank you, Moto Gaga. Appreciate that. It was fun. I was young. Different mic. I was still using these task cams. I still use these when I film for audio. I got 2. I was using one back in the day, but that helmet did not offer any room. And that was a Cena Bluetooth, not a Cardo. Cardo's better. But in a ram mount versus a rock form. But I had fun with that bike. I traded that in for the FTR, and I don't have the FTR anymore, and then I just got a Honda Rebel 500. I love that bike, though, the Honda Rebel 500. It's a good bike. It'd be fun to do more of that kind of creative stuff. It'd be fun. That's what I'm doing in 2026 with training, specifically on training stuff. But we'll see. Maybe we'll do some fun things. All right, we're going to start this one in 3, 2, oh, you're going to bed? All right, see you later, Moto Gaga. See you later. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have a MotoStars video. Let's see if we can power through this one. This is the 3rd video of the live stream that we do every week. So if you want to be part of the live stream, we have everybody in the classroom. Click that like, click that subscribe button and notification bell button. So just subscribe, really, and then you'll get notified when I do a live stream. But we're going to go over crashes and close calls. Okay, we're going to use the plan method on this. We're going to try to power through it. I'm trying to get you some of the main stuff up front, so that we can kind of apply this stuff. So this is kind of like a refresher for those of you that have been watching this for a while. We do a lot of beginner-friendly ones. So this is a refresher. So write in the comments. This is a test question type stuff. So write in the comments what is it you see. And when I call it out, I want you guys to write in the comments, okay? So for the first one, what hazard would you see here just from watching this first frame? What are the hazards that we should be paying attention to? Okay, here we go.
Hey everyone, we will start with the rider who learned the hard way while swerve being a bit more cautious when riding in tough weather conditions. The next demanding corner.
Tough weather conditions?
Too much for
wet road. There you go, Elad. Oh! Okay, what happened there? Remember, this is gonna be a refresher type video, so we're gonna try to power through. Ooh. Right on his leg. So, this is such a good video. I really want to power through it, but I don't. So we're going to come up to here. So we lost traction on the front tire. Okay, I don't know if we applied the brakes too hard. That person was kind of coming in our lane a little bit, freaked us out a little bit. Either way, we lost traction in the middle of a turn, fell down, okay? So we're down. I've made comments in the past when it comes to being on the fire service, and what I typically see with kids, I didn't see it a lot with motorcycle accidents. They typically get ejected. But with kids, their brake pedal, so imagine the clutch lever is a brake pedal, their brake pedal would impale the inside of their thigh. I've had a few of those. I've had a few of those calls where it's like they have a nice laceration, a puncture wound into their thigh from their brake lever. So this is kind of like what it would look like if the kid fell and crashed. But this is also very good, because it didn't happen here, so I'm glad it didn't happen there. It looks like that's the armor, so it looks like a deformity, but he has an armor inside of his pants, I'm assuming, and it's just kind of squishing on his quad muscle. But look at where the engine landed. It landed on his ankle and his foot. So as a motorcycle rider wearing full gear, acquiring using protective equipment, uses personal protective equipment, is so important, because you don't know when something's going to happen. You can't control everything. So if something happens, you just hope you have the gear. So the gear is kind of like an insurance policy for your body. So when that bike landed on his foot with motorcycle specific gear, I'm going to grab one. All right. I got my boot. So motorcycle specific gear, okay? So I love the ones with the side zippers. I don't like having laces. So this is a TCX, I believe. It's from Italy. I love it. I got it specifically because it's easier to walk in, but they usually have a mid-shank sole here to prevent foot fatigue when you have your feet on the peg, and also for any puncture resistance. I got these ones specifically. You see the little holes? It allows airflow. It's also Gore-Tex, so the water will kind of come through it. But it's hard to point. It doesn't show it, but right here, right there, in this spot right here, there's a disc. And there's a disc, it's thermoplastic, basically hard plastic. I can't show it to you, but basically hard plastic here. And that goes on the outside of your ankle. So if something comes down, it's going to hit that first. And these are more rigid. Like this is really rigid. Motorcycle boots are rigid so that if something does land on it like this right here in this situation, it's going to hopefully prevent it from completely squishing and breaking bones and ligaments. It's going to maybe cause some bruising and maybe a tiny hairline fracture versus like a complete rip off of your ankle. So having motorcycle boots is very important. I like to have the ones with the side zippers. Let's see if I can do that. So I put my boot on, I zip it up, and then I lash it in. So now it just looks like this. There's no zippers, no laces or anything that's gonna get caught on the peg. And then motorcycle boots has protection on the back, protection on the ankle, and then sometimes they have protection. It's a little bit harder on the front for rocks hitting. Sometimes like with sport bike boots, they go this high, but they're like hard, so that won't compress. And that's looks like what he's got. So motorcycle boots are so important. Don't wear sneakers or anything like that. Okay, don't do that. But we're gonna try to power through this. I get too excited when it comes to like great visual representations of what we're trying to do here. And then how do you self-rescue? So if you see a motorcyclist on the ground, be like this truck driver. Help him out. I love that. All right. Oh, Jesus. What'd he hit? Big group ride. Everyone's gonna laugh at you. A little embarrassing. BOA sneakers for your daughter, and it was a mistake because she won't wear anything else now. So, yeah, those the little twist BOAs for the tightening it up. Those you don't have to worry about laces. It's great. So what happened here, though? What happened here? I don't know. It's hard to see the compression from the video. Best bet is that he just landed a wheelie and caused some disruption in suspension. I don't know, but we're moving on. Do we get another camera angle? No, he just saw his buddy crash. Practice that U-turn. See, look how, I mean, you can see his jacket's ripped up, so it looks like he has armor underneath, so that's good. But what happened? So I think he lost traction on the rear tire because he gave it a little bit of throttle in that middle of the turn, caused a little bit of a washout on the rear tire, which caused everything to get disrupted. But here's the test question for you. Not really, but write in the comments what you think happened. Let's go ahead and use all of our brains, throw out answers, and maybe we can come up with a common denominator on this one. But that was definitely a loss of traction on, I'm sorry, it was like a speed wobble type situation. But if you want to practice, because he's looking back, you want to practice your U-turn right there, guys, grab yourself the Smart Rider motorcycle training drills, 24 motorcycle training drills in a parking lot. You don't need a lot of room. Has QR codes on how to do it. Here's how you set it up. Only 10 cones. I do sell the cones with it if you want to get the physical one. But right here, I do have the digital version of it. So you can have it on your handlebars and practice in a parking lot, and you can click the QR code, and it'll take you to the video of me doing it so that you know how to do it and you can actually watch me do it. So you can practice your slow speed U-turns and figure eights and all that fun stuff. There's a discount code for 20% off, link in the description. Okay, so right here, perfect U-turn. All right, what do we got here? Okay. Oh. So when you see some random stuff like that, you got to do something. We have 3 different things to do in an emergency situation. Next test question for you guys. We have 3 things we can do. Rev bombing's not one of them. Honking the horn's not one of them. Flipping somebody off is not one of them. What are the 3 things we can do in an emergency situation? So we see this vehicle in front of us, slow down and hit something. Now, the moment we see this, what is it the things we can... Praying sometimes works, Hog Rider. But what can we do here? Okay, I'll give you one that you can't write in the comments. Emergency braking. Okay, that should give you a hint. What are the other two? What are the other two things? And then write in the comments what he should be doing. Let's see if we can get 1,000 comments on this video. That'd be insane.
Oh.
Could have done something. We just didn't do anything.
In this situation, the
crest of the hill. What's around this hill? And there's the side of the vehicle. What are they gonna do?
He didn't give
that person can't see.
at all.
Oh, same thing. 3 things that we can do in this situation. Okay, but what should we have been doing back here? Planning our ride. Okay, can't see around this hill. We're trying to locate hazardous situations.
Judge the distance and
I see a side of the vehicle and all these people, so that's an intersection. That's a hazardous situation. There's possible people wanting to turn in front of me. So I'm going to slow down a little bit, right, Hog Rider? But then once we get to this right here,
Dad, he didn't give.
What can we do? What can we do? So if you didn't write anything, the answer to the last one and the answer to this one, there's 3 things we can do. Emergency swerving, emergency braking, or emergency acceleration. It's your choice what you want to do, but you have to do something. If you don't do anything, this is what happens.
Chance at all.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, rear end. Oh!
Which I will do, because as you can see from the Chevron.
One more time. Nothing you could have done there. That's a sad situation. I mean, that happens in cars, but it's much worse with motorcycles because you have no protection. We have a deer come out.
And this sign, it says 15, and yeah, it is pretty sharp.
Grumpy old man 60. Okay. Grumpy old man 60. Let's go off. Let's talk about this one a little bit here. I don't know if I feel like he watches DanDanTheFireman. So, dude, if grumpy old man, have a pizza, be less grumpy. Go ahead and have a slice of pizza, take a seat. I feel like he watches DanDanTheFireman and then also Doodle on the motorcycle because he has that brake-free light. Or is that what it's called? He's got that brake thing. So what that does, if you guys don't know what that is, you saw it on the back of his helmet. That thing right there that's on the back of his helmet. Anytime he applies the brakes or rolls off the throttle, it lights up too, right? To let people know. But I say he's probably watching because he pointed out the chevron.
Which I will do, because as you can see from the chevron up ahead and this sign, it says.
So very good. He's pointing out a hazardous situation coming up. I love that. Pointing it out, right? He's assessing if it's gonna be a relevant threat.
15, and yeah, it is pretty sharp.
There it is, floorboards. So I want to point out, I really wanted to power through this video, but it's such a good video. I want to point out is that you can know what to do, but then if you don't do what you know what you're supposed to do, it still doesn't matter that you knew what to do. You got to do what you know. Make sense? So it's one thing to watch all the time and be a part of the live streams on usually Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's one thing to be a part of the live streams and then say what you're going to do, but it's also to put into action. Now, one of the big problems with sharp corners and big bagger bikes like this, I see you guys in the chat always talking about the baggers, is that it's such a low clearance. And with these bigger ones, they have floorboards. So you hear him as soon as he turns, it just scrapes. It starts scraping because it's a sharp turn. And he's leaning the bike and it's scraping. One thing with the Total Control Advanced Riding Clinic 1 and 2 that I took a couple years ago, and I took a lot from it, but one thing that really stood out to me is that, because I did it with A Harley Sportster, the first one. The second one I did on the FTR, and there are 2 different clearances. But on the first one, the instructor really emphasized, hey, you have a cruiser bike with a 3.5-inch clearance. It's super important for people on cruisers and people on baggers like this to really use their body lean. Because that was one of the things with the advanced riding clinic, especially the first one, is they're teaching you, is body angling into the corner, you know, looking where you want to go, body angle into the corner. Because when you lean your body over, you see all these MotoGP people, right? That's the easiest ones to see. They're like leaning in and they're like really going over on the other side. They're turning this way. They're really doing that, but they're keeping the bike up more upright for how much they're leaning. And so when it comes to a cruiser bike like this with floorboards, if you lean into the turn really hard and it keeps the bike more upright, it means the floorboards and the pegs won't be scraping, because if you're going through the turn and leaning the bike over and staying in line with it, that means the floorboards and the pegs are going to start scraping, which causes disruption in the actual riding, because you can go so far that it's actually going to lift up the rear tire, especially if you have hard case bags that are super low on like some of these baggers. It can lift up the rear tire, especially on a sharp turn, and you run out of turning ability. So when it comes to like these big baggers and cruisers, it's really important to either go slow enough to make the turn so you can stay in line and not lean it far, or learn how to really use your body to commit to the turn and keep the bike up as straight as possible, while still doing counter steering, obviously. But this is the exact situation that training will help you. So it's one thing to know that you need to make the turn because it's sharp and all that stuff. It's another thing to use the skill balance, or the skill that you're learning, to apply to what you're perceiving at the same time.
It is pretty sharp.
So you know it's sharp, you know all this stuff, but you don't have the skill set to make the sharp turn on a big bike because you're used to just turning the bike. You should turn with your body, right? Turn with your body and keep the bike up as much as possible. Because as soon as he scraped, it just lifted the tire and lost complete traction. Oh, dude. Come take a seat. Bike riding, Adam. I'm sorry, I gotta watch it again. Dad vibes, yeah, exactly. Dude, take a seat. First off, everybody that's watching, we've detected video stream belonging to someone. Okay, so this video, whatever. Take a seat. This is exactly how I want you guys to handle it. Offer some grace, offer some forgiveness. You know, you handle the situation. It's not a big deal. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, okay, he's a new driver, so now you're being empathetic towards people. It's a new driver, he's learning. And the simple fact that he's got candy and stuff, like, come on, man. Like, you're living your best. Thing here is this guy doing this.
Made by the driver.
That right there. Like, that's a big one, right? That's a big one. Typically, people get defensive. But if this is what you're presented with, this is how you should present yourself. Probably a manual transmission car. He probably left his foot off the brakes, and he put it in neutral, and he's rolling back. It's kind of like what you do on a motorcycle. If you have a neutral and you don't have the brakes or your feet down, you're going to roll back. It's a manual transmission vehicle, and he's kind of scared on a hill, right? Because you got to get that friction zone, just like on a motorcycle, that friction zone, a little bit. All right, let's watch idiots now. Here we go. Yeah, there's going to be a crash right there. Bad one. Yeah. Couldn't see because you're going too fast. You're outrunning your headlights. Couldn't see the person doing that. Now we have this consequence. He's doing lots of pain, grabbing his groin because he has an open book fracture. Don't Google it. Don't Google traumatic open book fracture on Google Safe Search. Off.
¿Qué te pasa? ¿Cómo te vas a dar la vuelta no aquí?
Can't see anything. Call 911.
No te preocupes, ya tengo todo grabado.
Easy? All right, we're out of track. This is where you practice your high-speed turning maneuvers. Overall, that sucks, but, oh, wow. I thought that was the end of it, but it's not. Oh, see, that's one reason why you do want to let go. Because now you have 2 crashes. That was pretty bad. All right. Oh, there's the impact. There's the impact. Oh, what do we got here? Okay, nothing. All right, nice little chill ride. I love the camera angle. Interesting. Oh, lost traction. Gained traction back up. Good stop. So that was important. That's really good. So kit rides. That was really good. So we lost traction here. Okay, let's take a look. So rear tire traction. This is what it's going to look like to you and it's going to feel it. You're going to have 0 control. Bike gained traction back up. Like it regained stability. It's your job at this point is to put your feet back on, because if you notice at towards the end, there's an intersection. Like we have to stop at the intersection. We can't just keep cruising through and stay frozen. So as soon as you got here, good job with the brakes. You notice how there's no rear brake on that stop? It was just the front brake. Watch. So the foot's off. We have to stop. The right foot's on the ground, like skis. So good job with progressive braking after a panic and stopping before getting into the intersection. So really good job, kit rides. That was scary, I bet. Z34 Mikey, not paying attention to the turn. Dude, you gotta turn. Not paying attention. Okay, we're looking back. Okay, look forward. Okay, we're in our lane. Did you not learn? I got like the sun on my face. Did you not learn how to color in the lines with crayons? We gotta stay in the lane. Going too fast. Not a time to be messing around. Okay, countersteer. He's countersteering to the left. Okay, at this point, what do? We can either keep countersteering to the left to get back in our lane, or let the momentum take us. Take the right lane. You know, you got to make a decision. Because right here, it looks like a panic and a freeze. Froze.
Excessive speed and just a...
One sec. I want to see if I can... Ooh. Oh, is he wearing jeans? What a way to just like... You see how like intense a crash is?
Excessive speed and just a moment of inattention turned out to be a very bad combination, and the rider couldn't keep the bike under control.
So that right there. So watch how smooth the bike is. It's just turning. And then as soon as he passes this car in front of us, it starts doing this. Why do you think it's starting to do this? Write in the comments. I already know the answer. Hopefully you guys do. I'm gonna test you guys a little bit. Why does it start doing this after he passes that first car?
Keep the bike.
See how it's smooth? And then right here. What's that? What's that? Side of the vehicle. Good swerve. When I say swerve, I mean swerve. Good swerve. Okay, that person's in our lane. There, Elad and Hog, rear brake. He was slamming that rear brake on the last one. That's why I was doing that. He was slamming the rear brake. All right, so when I say swerve, I don't mean, oh, I'm going to swerve from here to here. No, I mean, if that car's going to take up your whole lane, swerving to here is not going to solve your problem. Swerving from here to here will solve your problem. So good swerve. He just kept it going. He fully expected that car to keep going, so he kept going. And then he found the escape off to the side. That was good. That was good. Good job. You're gonna low side or high side. You're gonna drop the bike on a turn. Yep, there it is. The way he's just sharp reactions to the bike, things got to be smooth. You can't be jerky. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there's a pole. Okay. Uh-oh. You can't park here. Pay attention to your ride, though. Okay, we're going to stop. We're going to run back. So remain calm, ensure your own safety.
Okay. ¿Qué te duele? Okay.
He's in a comfort position. Alright. So line of sight. When I always tell you guys to park off to the sides, you know, back further, but like off to the sides, you see how your line of sight is straight this way versus in the middle, your line of sight is the back of the vehicle? That's why. I don't know, hopefully it doesn't get smashed.
This is a reminder of how overconfidence during a speeding can end, especially when you are trying to keep up with the group.
Are we in a car? Because we're pretty stable. Is this like a dash cam for a car? Yeah. Pay attention. Oh. So just realize how violent a crash can be going 30. Going 30. I'm assuming this is like 30 because everyone's stopped, right? They're not speeding. Like everyone's pretty much stopped. So 25. 20, 25. So 20, 25. Guess what goes 20, 25 miles per hour? E-bikes. E-bikes. E-bikes go 20, 25 miles per hour. And they use bicycle brakes. Like disc brakes for bicycles. So, I mean, just look how violent of a crash 20 miles an hour is. Like the body just gets flung. So imagine yourself on an e-bike. So e-bikes can be dangerous. A lot of the stuff that we were talking about can be applied for e-bikes. But yeah, definitely pay attention when you're riding. He's not paying attention. He's looking to his right. You don't have to follow. This is like the same thing when you're group riding in a corner, like in the mountains. You don't have to follow and keep up with that person. If it's not safe for you to turn right, to do it because this gap is closing, it wasn't for this guy because this guy made it, keep going. Until it's safe for you to go. Oh, let's go back so you guys can see how violent that crash is. $20 miles an hour. Okay, 151 kilometers an hour is 93 miles per hour. Can we read what he's watching YouTube. Almost 100 miles an hour. Side of the vehicle, great swerve. You see what I mean by swerve? Look at the car. The car can swerve, same thing. The car saw the side of the vehicle, saw that it was a relevant hazard, saw that it was an active one coming out. It did a hard swerve to the left, hard swerve to the right. It didn't just go or slam the brakes. It did what it needed to do. Sees that, swerves hard, swerves back. Now we just ran a red though. It was going to be yellow for us, but that means the other person was definitely running a red. It wasn't green for them. Yeah, I would have given him a thumbs up. It's like, great swerve, dude. amazing swerve. All right, here we go. Same person? Interesting. Highway riding. You notice how there's no intersections in highway riding, but there's merge incidents like that. Don't stay in the lane and don't hit the mirror. If you see somebody doing this, just switch to the next lane or roll off the throttle and let them in. I've had some crazy swerves in my car and my bike, my motorcycle.
This writer got a pretty valuable lesson on why treating a public road like a racetrack is a bad idea.
Good swerve, but we're not doing it. Nice. All right, real quick. When it comes to swerves, I want you guys to know. Like, this was me back in the day, a while back. I was actually Doodle on a motorcycle filmed this. This is from her point of view. I was in California. That's me on the bike right there. That's me. That's me right there. Somebody did an open lane pattern. I recognized it was about to happen, and I decided I needed to swerve out of the way. And I say swerve, I mean swerve. You're swerving hard to get away. You need to do that. So I recognize there's an open lane pattern coming up because we're coming out of the carpool lane. And I noticed that it was a big open lane. People are going to want to get into it. I see it ahead of time. I apply the brakes a little bit, slow down, but I knew I wasn't going to stop in time. So I had to swerve hard left. I found the escape on the shoulder and moved on. That car did not just come out a little bit. It changed lanes in front of me. And obviously was not going with the flow of traffic that I was doing. But you need to swerve hard. Okay? So train with a purpose. Swerving, I even wrote that there. Swerving with a purpose. Swerving with a purpose. Okay? Doodle on a motorcycle and I were doing this with a bunch of other content creators. I think Blockhead was there and a few other people. But it was a lot of fun, the Cardo event. But that was like the second close call I had that day. I had somebody else pull out in front of me when I was getting on the highway. So you have to swerve. Also, yeah, I have an Instagram. I usually post Instagram stories about like what's going on with my life. I don't post a lot anymore.
Put a lead.
Yeah, they're going the wrong way.
Put a lead. Put a lead. Put a lead.
Side of the vehicle. Good job. Moved over. They were pretty much stopped. So, oh, good adjustment. That's a perfect example of position for safety, locating, assessing, navigating into a new position for safety. I did say I was going to try to power through this video, and we're about 34 minutes into it, so I guess not. All right, what did it? Quick quiz. What is he doing? What is he doing? Write it in the comments. And a lot of this stuff is for those, because we're watching it live. When I say post in the comments, yeah, write it in the chat. But also if you're watching this as a clip on a weekend or whatever, or any other time, I want you to write in the comments. Write in the comments, what is he doing? Throttle in theory, you are absolutely right. He's pointing out something, right? I'm giving out the answers already. What is that guy doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? I'll tell you after the clip's over, so you can get the answer, just in case nobody's commenting. But we already have a whole bunch in the chat. So yeah, he was pointing out a road surface hazard to the left, which was the gravel. He was pointing out the gravel to the left. If you use your right foot, there's a road surface hazard to the right. Road surface hazard to the left. This way, you don't have to use hand movements, you use your leg. But that's another reason why I like having a Bluetooth system, because you can just say it. Sometimes this is quicker. It's pretty universally understood, but if you're new to riding, you don't know what that means. So he's pointing out a hazard to the left of him. If it's his right foot, pointing to the hazard to the right of him. You can say that with a Cardo. You can do that with your legs, okay? Lost a little traction on that turn. You see how he jumped up a little bit? So there's probably gravel all over the road. So this should be a good indicator. Today's going to be an easy day. Side of the vehicle moved on. Good job. Okay. You kind of went into that. They're already there. Move on. Oh, careful, careful. Good. He knew. This guy knew. So these big trucks need a lot of room to turn. So when he sees this guy coming, he tries to Flintstone it backwards a little bit to give him the room. So whenever I'm used to this in Arizona, is that I don't, on a left-handed turn, especially on something like this kind, if there's a median, I will come up to the line, but I will stay back because a lot of semis tend to do that and they like cut across. Good ones don't do that, but same thing here. They're going to need a lot of turning radius. And as a firefighter, I always appreciated when somebody would actually give me that room on a turn. You can see Flintstone your CBR Shmee. Our ice cold soul. What do we got here? Side of the pedestrian or anything like that? Nope, nope, nope. A right turner, a left turner for Americans. Not a big deal. Let them in. Shake your head. Move on. You're good. Nobody got hurt. Oh, somebody's acting dumb. Go into a new position. Just go into a new position and move on. You can escape.
I don't care.
You can escape.
Go.
You can unclog this easily by just going. Oh, you gotta do a ballet point to Flintstone it. It'll be tough on the toes, the ankles. All right, we're going 90, 100. Good for you. You're on a highway. 120. All right, 130. Good job. There's the speed wobbles all of a sudden kicking in because you went over a bridge. Yep. Oh, you're gonna run out of road. Oh, he fell in the water. A lot of these big group rides and stuff like this, ego kind of gets in the way. Kind of, ooh, is he not dead? Is he? No. Good luck getting that bike out. Oh no, what do we got here? Look at that road rash on the shoulder. There's road rash. You see how it gets all tore up? Everything gets tore up, clothes and everything. That's why you wear full gear, everybody. You don't know when it's gonna happen. Is it an MT? What is that? Write in the comments if you know what kind of bike that... Oh, geez, Moto Stars. Write in the comment if you can tell me what model and make that bike is. That's your last test. But that is massive amount of road rash. Surprised the shoes are still on. That's where all the gear protects you. Yep, ride safe, everybody. Make sure you ride safe. But with that said, thank you guys for joining me on the live stream and watching this video. Hopefully you guys answered all the questions correctly because you don't get a slice of pizza if you don't. But with that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you guys next week on the next live stream. Woo-wee! I just realized we've been streaming for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. Jeez. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. But I'm going to be heading out. See you later, Hog Rider. See you later, guys. I'm going to head out. I'm going to take the dogs out for a quick walk. I haven't eaten today. I just realized, so I'm going to have a late lunch. And I'm going to go for a quick walk. I'm going to get my 10,000 steps because I barely have 1,000 because I've just been standing here in class all day. Yeah. I'll see you guys next week. I'll keep you up to date. Post on my Instagram stories every now and then, so you might want to check it out. But I'll see you guys later.
Around these. Oh, scraping the peg. Shift body, exit out. 20.7 is what I had originally. Let's see, 19.8, baby. Woo! All right, that was